Another
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
My level of fired upness, focusedness, and preparedness, as far as I'm concerned, is without peer. I will be and I will stay fired up, focused, and prepared. I will be pumped. I will be excited. I am stacked, jacked, and packed today. We are ready for you. The great John Adams is in the house today, as he will stay throughout. Matt Dixon's dauber is up today. We are extremely excited about feedback. We are extremely excited about how crazy LSU is. I love LSU. I'm for LSU, not against LSU. Apparently, they're trying to fire Brian Kelly for cause. The reports are today so they can save money on the buyout. Hey, Matt, they make us in 2017 look downright functional, don't they? Doesn't LSU right now?
No, not yet.
Somewhere John Curry's feeling good about himself. Somewhere John Curry is out there feeling good about himself. Not yet, you say?
No, not quite yet. But they're screwing all this stuff up, getting the firing process. Tennessee's was more the hiring process, where they, went rogue, and you had Curry on a Kansas State plane for hours without contacting anybody.
Curry's off.
I'm not sure what LSU's trying to do, but they're going really far in making their job less attractive by the day.
Yeah. They're full of crazy people. And gambling and sports are totally out of control. Two things I know today, John. This thing with Class A and these guys in Major League Baseball, now what they've done is the most you can bet on a first pitch is $200 at any sports book. Because how do I keep you, and this is just the reality of it, how do I keep anybody from fixing something like that? At one time, right now in sports, we have a gambling scandal in major college basketball. We had 7 guys that got banished the other day. You haven't seen that since the 1950s, since they had an NYU betting scandal. I guess there was one at Boston College, like there was a 30 for 30 on that. I will say gambling on sports right now is totally out of control. Yes or no, John? Totally. And not only is it totally out of control, but the athletes involved in it, there's no telling in college sports how many guys have action on games night in and night out, especially basketball. Not trying to pick on my basketball friends, but it's the most fixable game, and it always has been on the planet. Basketball is such an easy-to-manipulate game.
Yeah, and this is what we're hearing and what's being reported is probably the tip of the iceberg.
Yep.
Once these sports started getting more immersed in gambling, this is not surprising. There will be, you say basketball is the most fixable, but you can do it in football too. It's not as easy, but we're going to have, this is just the beginning, I feel like. And what is the solution to it? I'm not sure. I guess it's to eliminate all sports betting and go back to the old days of calling your local bookie and dealing with him. But so many people are betting, and it doesn't just bring into question the integrity of the games. It also enhances the let's fire the coach movement. Very much so. And that's where we get into more with football, because a lot of people only bet on football. It may be easier to fix other sports, but it's easier to bet on football.
Yep.
You got a point spread, particularly NFL, because you got a small body of teams. You could get a casual knowledge of most NFL teams, who the quarterback is, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a problem. And you're right. When you were talking about comparing Tennessee and LSU, think about it. I've been a columnist in both places. I was in Baton Rouge for 5 years, and being here, and it's unbelievable all the things that have happened that you would just never see coming if you could say, gosh, this might happen. Remember the basketball search? I forgot who they were searching for. They were at Kevin Stallings' place.
It's the greatest thing ever.
And talking.
You and I were talking to each other back then. That was one of the greatest. When Doug Dickey bungled that, it was Mr. Haslam and Dickey for the young kids. Picture this. So they're up at Matt. Where was Kevin Stallings? Do you remember, Matt? He was like at hang on. He was at Illinois State because we had just played them in the NCAA tournament, and Kevin Stallings. This is before the days of cell phones now, okay, or the early days of cell phones, crude days of cell phones. So Mr. Haslam excused himself with Doug Dickey, and they go into the kitchen, Kevin Stallings' kitchen, as they're offering him the job. And they take a call from Tim Floyd. And they take a call from Keith Hatfield's boy, Tim Floyd, which might be the greatest thing ever. When you're in a guy's house and you take a phone call from somebody else, might be one of my favorite moments. And that's not even a blip on the radar.
Not now.
Yeah, because now we have a sitting governor that goes before the media. And now the story is, John, and this is just kind of the era we're living in, but reporting today is that, and LSU says, Dan Wetzel says, an illegal filing obtained by ESPN. Brian Kelly's lawyers state that LSU is saying it never formally terminated Kelly and are now seeking to fire him for cause, which could impact his $54 million buyout. Yeah, so they never fired him, John. He's officially not fired. He's just not coaching.
So you're sending him a check? You have to be.
I guess so. The other thing that they did that I like is Brian Kelly is the same guy, because his relationship with LSU, only at LSU. Matt, was it like after his first year where that $1 million went missing, and then Brian Kelly said, oh, yeah, you guys accidentally sent that to me?
Yeah, it was like a year and a half into it.
I mean, John, it's just, what's $1 million among friends?
You misplace it. Another thing that's really hasn't gotten a lot of publicity that is so LSU, the new AD. Mm-hmm. They had at one point an interim president, an interim AD, and an interim coach. The governor started whacking people right and left, and then you still got the interim AD was Verge Osbury. Well, now he was made the permanent AD, but the new president, they appointed a new president, and he didn't know. They asked him about that, and he said, well, no, he's not. He's just the acting AD. No, he's been hired, and he didn't. The new president didn't realize that, and then they later said that, well, he misspoke. But Osbury, a few years ago, I don't know if you remember this, there was an issue with some sexual assaults involving some LSU athletes. And he was deemed part of this cover-up, and he was banned from attending games. Part of his penalty. And so now he's the new, and they asked the president about this. And he said, well, I didn't know about that.
John, here's a question for you, for Matt, for everybody listening. Brian Hartman, everybody consider. LSU, on its face, on its own, left to its own devices, is the best job on the board. You can win a national championship there year in and year out. We saw this place get so devalued, though, by funky leadership. Tennessee's a great football job. Not when Jimmy the Cheek was here. Not when Aunt Bev was here. Not when Filmer was your AD. No offense to Filmer, no offense to Aunt Bev, and no offense to Jimmy the Cheek. But by no stretch of the imagination was it a good job when those three people were here. How devalued, now that you tell us about this Osbury guy, they rushed in a new hire for an AD. They have a governor that's nuttier than a fruitcake who obviously is going to be involved if you know you're the head football coach. And you also know at the end of all this that when it doesn't work out for you, and it's not going to work out for most guys, but if you're a Lane Kiffin and you're considering, or whomever, or even a Brady at this point, and you're considering going there, you know that if it doesn't work out between me and them, they're going to try and find a way to pin something on me on the way out the door. So I'm going to have to be extra specially careful at these jobs where, by the way, here's a little secret for you. Everybody's cheating. Like, not a few people, not a few programs in college football. If you think these people are going to adhere to this $17 million or whatever it is, once they cut the check, the $15 million they're supposed to spend, if you tell me they're spending $15 million, they're all spending $25 million. How do I know that? Because listen to Watson Brown on Wednesdays. He said, we're going back into the days of the catacombs and the bag man. Only the bag man's carrying more money these days. Bag man back then used to carry 20s. Now he carries hundreds. And how much, if in fact that is going on, and it is going on, how many IRS violations are being committed by these schools crossing state lines? But I digress. So back to where we were. How devalued, John Adams, you presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. Shout out, Jennifer. Look forward to seeing you on Thursday. Yoshi ho ho. John, from your perspective, how devalued, if at all, is that LSU gig right now? Is it devalued from what they've done?
Not as much as you would think. Here's why. And admittedly, the trying to fire Brian Kelly for cause is a new wrinkle, and that's, as you would say, next level.
Yeah.
However, the job is so good. There's so much potential there, and it always goes back to this. Any coach you talk to about the LSU football job, two things. Les Miles won a national championship there. Ed Orgeron won a national title there. If those guys can win it, I know I can win it. That's the thought process. That's why Brian Kelly was drawn to it. That's why anybody will be drawn to it. Another aspect of it is the governor of Louisiana is involved. The governor, he's always been involved to an extent because he appoints a board of supervisors who run that university, and they can be very involved. They used to be, even when I was there many years ago when I was a columnist here in Baton Rouge, they were very involved in the hiring process. So this kind of thing, it's not that it's more high profile right now, but it's kind of ingrained in the whole process there. So I think if you're being hired now, it almost looks like the president and the AD are just kind of middlemen. Maybe as a coach, maybe you look at it, well, this might be better. I'll just deal with the governor. Cut out the middlemen, just deal with the governor. And if the governor's involved in this, then his ego is attached to it. And if he hires a really good coach, his approval rating soars in Louisiana.
Yeah, but how's he going to hire a really good coach when a coach isn't going to? Matt, what do you say? I think it's devalued. Matt, what do you think?
Probably a little bit, yeah. I think so. But the right coach that thinks they're going to win there no matter what, kind of like what John said. But it certainly isn't helping at all. And to drag this out it's
so crazy.
But
it's just why we love college football.
It's so
in every kind of big time coaching hire, where they care so much, where there's so much passion, that could happen in anywhere in the SEC that they care.
Every school's nuts, Bri. That's why we love this stuff.
Look at the stuff that's happened at Auburn. You're talking about LSU and Tennessee. Yeah. Look at Auburn.
No.
Well, they had a coach. They had boosters fly to meet Petrino when Tuberville was still coaching there.
Incredible.
Like secretly set up meetings with another sitting coach.
in a private jet in the middle of the night. You can look at other schools.
How about Alabama?
Alabama, when they hired Mike. Help me.
Who was
Washington
it,
State? Mike Price.
Mike Price.
But Mike Price
was fooling around with hookers. It's rolling, baby. It's rolling, baby.
It's strippers, not hookers. Don't
I'm sorry.
disparage his character.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry about that.
Strippers. He didn't think anything of it. He's at Washington State. He used to recruit in L.A. I mean,
yeah.
Do you think anybody in L.A. knows who's a football coach at Washington State?
Man was getting his freak on. His freak. He's getting his freak on.
Well, the SEC can get its freak on in a heartbeat.
Mike Price. Wow, he was there for like 5 minutes. I forgot all about the Dennis Franchione era. Matt, who was the guy? I thought John was going to pivot here because we've all had him. Like Johnny Bahama went on his trip, and I thought he was in the Bermuda Triangle. When I'll never forget that. I was working out the old YMCA in Halls, and I got a call on my cell phone. It was buzzing, and I ignored it. And then I got another one. And finally somebody from over there said, "Hey, you're not going to believe this, but Johnny Bahama's gone missing." And I was like, "Missing what?" And they said nobody can get in touch with him. And that's when he was on his junket. He went off the board and went and hired the late great Mike Leach out of Washington State. That happened. I'll never forget those. And then they fired him on the way back to Knoxville. And they had the coup de filmer. But let's go back here because we have a position statement today on the blog over at tclub.team, and I want to see if all assembled will sign off on the position statement. This Florida team, by the way, Matt, who was the guy that almost took the job at Alabama and the Saban run would have never happened there? Who was that? Do you guys remember?
Rich Rodriguez.
Thank you. And what was the backstory?
Matt Haight watches him every day.
He took the job for 5 minutes. What was it, Matt? Do you remember?
I don't know how true it is, but the rumor was that Rich Rod and his wife turned on Feinbaum, and they were like just going absolutely crazy on there, and that kind of they kind of backed off from that. But he had accepted the job for a few minutes at least. Would have saved college football had that not happened.
So great.
West Virginia wish he'd have never left.
Oh, man.
Had it going pretty good there.
He was very good.
He was a good coach. He is a good coach.
Official position statement. No Eugene Wilson. No Dallas. What's the other kid's name? Dallas Baker? What's
Dallas Wilson.
Dallas. There are two Wilsons.
Yes. The freshman is Dallas.
No Eugene Wilson. No Dallas Wilson. Somebody check on Flip Wilson, I wrote today in the blog.
Boy, you're dating yourself there.
Our fan base is going to flip. And La Freak says chic, another dated reference. Nile Rodgers, great musician. But
nobody knows.
And great guitar player. You know La Freak, say chic. Bump, bump, bump,
Go ahead with your mission, Tony.
How about good times?
How about your mission statement?
Dun, 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 dun. Maybe I'll get the guitar and play it for you.
Yeah, that was great.
All right, here's a position statement. Official Tony Basilio show position statement on the Florida game. Matt, sign your name if you feel like it. John, sign your name if you feel like it. Brian signed his name to this yesterday. Here it is. Tennessee can't lose to Florida next weekend and be seen with credibility for the 2025 football season. You cannot lose the Florida game now. After Florida's performance with Kentucky, after what LSU is going to do to them this weekend, the official position. Ole Miss. I'm sorry. The official position statement is Tennessee can't lose to Florida next weekend and be seen with credibility for the 2025 football season. We already haven't beaten anybody, and that's fine. We've lost to the three teams that can play, and that's fine. You've got table scraps left. You've got this team this weekend, and you've got Florida, and then you've got a Vanderbilt game that's going to be a great football game. But that Florida team right now is in the table scraps category. We're not playing. Just like Kurt Zignetti said. They asked him about winning at Penn State and how that program's never done it. He said, let me tell you something. My guys, this team's never played at Penn State. Don't talk to me about that. This Tennessee team has never played at Florida. So Matt Dixon, here's the message. Tennessee can't lose to Florida next weekend and be seen with credibility for the 2025 football season. Matt, are you voting yay or nay on that, or are you abstaining and explain yourself?
No, I think that's fair. I mean, you are going on the road, and they play that. You're, making it about the game in Lexington where they clearly had no interest in playing. But it'll be their first home game in over a month, so you just have no clue how the crowd's going to react. Do they rally for that? But I mean, that team's not any good at all. So I think it's a very fair thing to have any credibility this year. Yeah, you need to win that game.
To the living listener, 865-200-5402, I ask you, is that a fair thing to say regarding the Florida game? Because I'm already in Florida game preparation. John Adams, regarding the Florida game, what do you say? Fair thing, that statement?
What do you mean by credible?
I mean, did you really have a serious football season? If you lose to Oklahoma, who you shouldn't have lost to, Georgia, probably shouldn't have lost that game looking back on it. That raised everybody's hopes. Alabama, and then you lose to that Florida bunch. That's a pretty empty calories 2025. Even if you come back and beat Vanderbilt at the end of the year to keep them out of the playoffs. And I'm not sure this Boley guy is going to beat Vanderbilt. I think that's going to be a hell of a game next week.
Yeah, I think if Tennessee, I think it would be better for Tennessee to lose to Florida than to lose to Vanderbilt.
Okay. A fair thing to say that you can't have credibility if you lose for the 2025 season. If you go on the road and you let that Florida bunch beat you, they quit. Now, Matt's right. It's a home game. Okay.
Yeah, but they didn't quit against Georgia. They didn't quit against Texas.
John, they suck. They're done.
That was the
worst.
That was the most blatant example of I don't care I've ever seen by an SEC football team.
I don't know how they just all of a sudden care if they play a game like that and then care again.
Well, Brian, how would you like to be the booster?
Wow.
With the NIL program going full steam, how would you like to have been paying those guys?
Wow.
And watching that game in Lexington when it was just so obvious they didn't care. I don't see how Tennessee could lose to that team, honestly, because the quarterback DJ Lagway, he just keeps looking worse.
And I'm starting to think that Rob Thompson is managing the Florida Gators. What do you have to do as a quarterback to lose your job? It's like Thompson and his pitchers. Or his lineups. You just keep doing the same. Matt, what does a guy have to do to lose his job? I mean, he literally looked in the first half the other night like he should have been investigated by the FBI. He should be rolled into one of these investigations, Matt. What the hell was that?
They did bench him.
Well, they benched him, but then he's starting this week. They announced that he's a starting quarterback this week.
Go back to last year. DJ Lagway completed that, 3rd and 18 pass for a touchdown to send that Tennessee game into overtime.
Yes.
Florida finishes strong, upsets Ole Miss. And everybody's talking about keeping Billy Napier because you don't want to risk losing DJ Lagway.
Yep.
Florida would have been better off if it had lost both of them.
Well, that's the thing that's great about all this stuff is that in this era, and John said it, I just wonder how burned out these boosters get. Because these are mega rich people with lots and lots of money, but they're spending more of it now than ever before. And what are they spending it on?
But there's also
some football player.
But it's also there's got to be
guys just check out on them.
I know it's got to be some ego involved there. these guys have done a few things right in their career. If they've accumulated a lot of money, all of them didn't just inherit it, but some of you made money. You run a business, you run a successful business, and then you spend your money on these kind of guys and those kind of performances. I didn't even think that game was possible. Oh, it was possible for Kentucky to win, sure. But for Kentucky to beat you 38-7?
And Matt, please explain this to me, because it's one thing I'll never understand about college football. Why is Kentucky making it look so easy against Florida here, there, and everywhere? They beat them in their building, even. They even went in Gainesville. Why is that, Matt, and we make it look so hard against them? Can somebody please explain that to me when Kentucky is the spitting definition of a rinky-dink Mickey Mouse football program in this league?
Well, that's it. Florida doesn't get up for that game at all. Early in the year, late in the year, they don't have that game circled at all, whereas they have Tennessee circled. That's one of Kentucky's advantages, is nobody is ever excited to play it in Lexington. So you can always catch teams, sleepwalking. And obviously Florida, after the Georgia game, they had zero interest in playing that game, and it showed.
But they've lost 6 out of 8 now to them.
Yeah, Kentucky circles games like that, and Florida doesn't. Florida doesn't care one bit about playing Kentucky.
When we come back,
so they're just not going to give any effort.
Kentucky does circle our game, but yet they never win it.
Yeah, that's
great point.
That's another interesting part.
That's a great point, Bri.
Yeah. They
never win it.
Yeah.
But they're excited. It's like their biggest game of the year when they play them at home.
And they get hammered.
And that's the other thing, too. To Tennessee, they ought to consider this Florida game just another game. That'd be my message to my team in that locker room. This is no big deal. These guys are a bunch of turds. We're going to flush them. And that's that.
Spot the ball.
Spot the ball and let's go. 865-200. 5402. You want to really depress yourself? Go look at that schedule next week. I put it up today. We'll talk about it when we continue. Over at tclub.team. Go look at that schedule for next week, and tell me how the SEC is getting fans to pay real money for this stuff. And then your thoughts on our position statement. I say, if you don't win next week in Florida, you have zero credibility for this season to me as a football program. If you do not win at Florida next weekend, I'm sorry. I didn't do it. Florida sucks. They've checked out, and we need to win a game against somebody, anybody, don't we? Don't we? We'll come back on the other side, and then that will set up, because people say, well, you're moving the cheese. That will set up a real must-win game with Vanderbilt once you get over Florida, and you should beat Florida. That Vanderbilt game, can this Boley guy next week, which is the signature game, Vanderbilt and Kentucky, we'll talk about it. I think it's a signature game in the league next week. What in the wide world of sports is going on here? As we continue on your John Adams Tuesday after this. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations. Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. Preparing food for a big gathering can really take it out of you. That's why you need to call Calhoun's and check out their selection of party platters. Whether you're hosting a party for the big game, a reunion, or just an everyday gathering, a Calhoun's party platter is next level. Choose from Calhoun's always excellent chicken tenders, fly with Calhoun's wings, or boneless wings with a variety of dipping sauces, award-winning next-level melt-in-your-mouth barbecue ribs, or delicious spinach artichoke dip, or get one of each. Plus, if you're doing burgers or sandwiches, Calhoun's has lots of side dishes like spinach Maria, baked cinnamon apples, Smoky Mountain baked beans, or creamy coleslaw. Available in pints, quarts, and gallons. And to finish things off, pick up one of Calhoun's great desserts to go, including homemade cheesecake or key lime pie. Calhoun's, simply your go-to party headquarters. With 9 locations all over East Tennessee, you can order online and just pick it up. Calhoun's, one of the Copper Cellar family of restaurants, along with Chesapeake's, Copper Cellar, Corner 16, Cherokee Grill, and Smoky Mountain Brewery. Eat local, eat good. When it's time for your next move, you want to get your precious belongings from point A to point B with your peace of mind intact. That's why you need to call my friends at Gouffon Moving and Storage, East Tennessee's moving legend. Gouffon Moving and Storage has been helping East Tennesseans move since 1887. That's 138 years, 5 generations. That's even longer than the Dooley, Jones, and Pruitt era combined. Gouffon Moving and Storage are pro movers, serving Knoxville, surrounding areas, and interstate moves too, both residential and commercial. And we'll provide you with personalized service that other corporate movers simply cannot. We know how to move all types of items. We pay careful attention to our clients' valuables. Your satisfaction as a customer is our absolute priority. As the oldest continually owned and operated family moving business in the United States, when it's time for your next move, it's Gouffon Moving and Storage. And storage, it's secure and vaulted. Our newest offering of commercial storage logistics, we offer receiving, storage, and delivery services for all your business logistic needs. See more at Gouffon.com. That's Gouffon.com. Or check out the link at tclub.team. When it's time for your next move, East Tennessee's moving legend, Gouffon Moving and Storage. Life never stops moving. And between the 30-minute commutes, daycare pickups, weekly soccer practice, Tuesday night yoga, X number of coffee runs, and that weekend trip to Grandma's, you're racking up the miles. What you need is a tire that can keep up. A tire designed for doers. A tire that's going to last. Like the exceptionally long-lasting Michelin Defender tire. With an 80,000-mile warranty and the safety and comfort you expect, you can forget all about the miles ahead and focus on getting to your destination or conquering your to-do list. Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. That's Fleet Tire, I-275 exit 1B at East Woodland Avenue in Knoxville. Fleet Tire.
Inward Half is committed to the game and the memorable moments that happen in between. From the tee box to the tailgate, from the green to the big game. For the first birdie with Dad, the first big win with Mom. Friday night lights, Saturday superstitions, Sunday traditions. Fall into the comfort and unparalleled performance of Inward Half. This fall, enjoy the walk-in.
Are you tired of hiding your smile because of crooked teeth? At Knoxville Smiles, we've got the perfect solution. Invisalign. No metal, no wires, just clear, comfortable aligners that straighten your teeth without anyone noticing. Eat what you want, smile with confidence, and see results in as little as 6 months. Call us today for more information about Invisalign, 865-539-1776, or just visit us online at knoxvillesmiles.com. Smile brighter with Knoxville Smiles.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
TB here with Alan of WeShipFloors.com. Tell them about it, Alan.
Hey, I'm Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Our competition's prices, well, they're going up. Ours are coming down. Our waterproof floor Supercore, it's the best, and right now it starts at $199 a square foot. Our warehouses are full of 4mm, 6mm, and 8mm. You strapped for cash? Well, we have our own in-house financing. Use our room visualizer and order some free samples today. Supercore from WeShipFloors.com. Best products at best price.
Like Alan said, head over to WeShipFloors.com. Use the room visualizer on the website. Drop in any of the 120 Supercore floors virtually into your room and order your free samples today. WeShipFloors.com. Tennesseans, they are us. The best product, the best price. WeShipFloors.com.
Cold weather is on its way, and keeping your home warm and cozy doesn't have to cost a fortune. Upgrade your HVAC system with Pipe Wrench Home Services and get payments as low as $137 per month. You'll also save on utility bills with a new energy-efficient HVAC system to keep your home warm and comfortable through the holidays. We make it easy with free on-site estimates on replacements and free second opinions on repairs. So call or schedule your appointment online today at pipewrench.com and get a new energy-saving HVAC system for as little as $137 per month. We are committed to keeping your home cozy and worry-free this holiday season. Pipe Wrench Home Services, trusted in Knoxville, Maryville, Oak Ridge, and neighboring communities for over 20 years. And as always, same-day service guaranteed or the visit is free. Offer good with approved credit. Some restrictions apply. Visit pipewrench.com for details.
T to the boo. Back with you, 865-200-5402. As we welcome you back, the question is, in terms of credibility and the importance of the Florida game, I don't think it can be underscored enough. By the way, prayers up for Rick Russo, who has gone public, that he's been diagnosed with cancer for the second time now in a short amount of time. And our Eric Waddell, in a group chat, shares the following about Rick Russo. He says, because the Knoxville News Sentinel reporting that Rick Russo shares his kidney cancer diagnosis and is asking for prayers. And Ewad shares, and Eric used to work at Channel 8 for many, many years. And I interned under Rick Russo back in the old Channel 26 days. Those of you who were around then. But Eric says, really sad about this. One of the best people I've ever been blessed to be around in my life. He said you could walk a lot of miles and not find someone as kind as Rick Russo is. And that's been my experience of Rick Russo as well down through the years. He's just a really kind, good dude, and prayers up for him. Sweet guy, John.
Yeah, that's awful news. Rick is a great guy. I've worked with him some in the past. I used to do we had a deal with the paper and his station for a while, and I can remember being in Tennessee playing at Cal out there in Berkeley. And we did a pre-game thing. So it's Rick and me. When you're up there on the hill where these fans sit, they're pretty rowdy up there. This is Berkeley. It's a strange place. And they weren't that far away from us, and they were heckling us doing this. Rick is the most unflappable person I've ever worked with.
Was that the time when they were up in the trees?
They were up in the trees.
Were those people heckling you, or just people heckling you?
Yeah, they were some people that sit up on a hill outside the stadium. They were heckling us.
Were they referring to you like as capitalist pigs, that kind of thing?
I don't think they were really getting into politics that much. I guess we were just a bunch of itinerant hillbillies who'd wandered into their world.
What was the tree thing at the time? Do you remember?
They
wanted to save a tree?
Save the tree, so they were...
Plant a tree for your tomorrow.
They weren't like football fans. They just wanted to protest. They care more about trees than football.
I know, but there was a group of fans that were, group of people there that actually were there for the game, and they were people in the trees was there all it's almost impossible to explain. But anyway, my point was Rick just was unfazed. He was unfazed by it. Anything could happen. He would have made a great he would have been great on the Weather Channel. He could be in the middle of a hurricane, and he wouldn't lose his train of thought.
Cantori and Russo, what do they have in common? They share a distinction that the rest of the world wants to share, and that's that they're Italians. Because there's two types of people in the world, as everybody knows. Italians and those that want to be. So we'll go ahead and go to the phones at 865-200-5402. And the question is, do you agree with the position statement that the Volunteers in a week and a half must go to Florida and win and have credibility? I mean, to me, it's that simple. I can't lay it out any more simply than that. And by the way, the game time next weekend is either going to be 3:30 or 7:30. And Matt, what time's that game going to be, in your humble opinion? Because the 7:30 game's the number one game, the 3:30 game's the number two game. And I think we're going to be the 3:30 game, Matt. What do you think?
Yeah, probably 3:30. Hopefully.
Yeah.
The earlier, the better.
I agree with that. I wish it would have been played at noon.
That schedule that week is abhorrent. It's just absolutely awful.
How do they get away with it, John, is the question. They've got four games in the league that feature league-on-league teams, and everything else is garbage games.
You're going down the stretch of a season, interest is building, playoff spots on the line, and you're scheduling games like that. I just can't imagine a network agreeing to that kind of deal.
And they're still getting away with it.
Yeah, so they're not going to stop. Now, this could help. Perhaps when you go to a 9-game schedule, but probably you got to have one other Power 4 game, so you got two other games. So do you save one of them for the week before your rival, or do you just play it early on? I don't think we will have as weak of a slate as we do now, but gosh, I was looking at some of those games. Who was it? There was one team playing at FCS. Maybe it was Alabama playing Eastern Illinois.
I mean, what are we doing?
Eastern Illinois.
What are we doing?
Is that where Tony Romo went?
What?
Not Illinois State, Eastern Illinois.
Yeah, Eastern, and not Western Illinois. Is there
Western? Not Northwestern or Illinois, Eastern Illinois.
John, here are the four choices. Rank them for next week, then we go to the phones.
Uh-huh.
The four choices for
who is it, Brian?
The four choices for the 7:30 game next week are Kentucky and by the way, for those of you uninitiated, on our Garzalaw fifth quarter fan reaction, when Matt starts screaming at Brian in the middle of the night, it's one of my favorite highlights. It generally wakes me up. And there's generally not profanity involved, but, kind of close to that. The four games are, you rank them, John, in the order of what you'd put on prime time first. Missouri at Oklahoma. Arkansas at Texas. Tennessee at Florida. And the fourth one is Vanderbilt hosting Kentucky. What's the number one game? What's 2, what's 3, what's 4? Go ahead. What's the best game of the weekend?
It's Vanderbilt, Kentucky. It's not even close.
What are we doing?
Vanderbilt and Kentucky.
Kentucky's going to be on a 3-game winning streak after losing them all because they've got Tennessee Tech this weekend. By the way, Bobby Wilder joins, and Tennessee Tech's having an all-time great year, but he's going to join us on Thursday. I would love to see, and we all would, it'd be really funny to see Tennessee Tech beat Kentucky, and maybe it could happen. Who knows? But they're going to be on a 3-game winning streak and probably are very much a live dog against Vanderbilt with the way this Boley guy's playing.
Well, and Kentucky's defense is playing pretty well since the Tennessee game. It was horrible against Tennessee.
I think we're great on offense is the point.
Well. I think the other games, if Oklahoma would upset Alabama, and I don't really see that happening, Oklahoma and Missouri, I guess that could be if Oklahoma is a 3-loss Oklahoma team has a shot at the playoff because of its schedule. Not a good shot.
You really believe they're getting home with 3 losses?
Well, they can beat Missouri, a freshman quarterback going against a Brett Venables defense, and then
they'll beat LSU.
They beat LSU. I mean, oh my gosh, that LSU offense I watched against Alabama.
That's unbelievable.
Against that Oklahoma defense.
This Nussmeier guy, man.
Garrett Nussmeier, I was so high on him before the season started. And I know he doesn't have – his offensive line is deplorable, but Garrett Nussmeier, he just doesn't – he hasn't gotten any better. He was better last year. They said he overtrained in the summer, whatever. He's had a bad year. He's not the quarterback I thought he was. But that LSU offense – we talk about Florida quitting. It looked as though LSU's offense quit against Alabama.
Two coachless teams. That's a new thing in this era now.
You don't want to go. If you got an interim coach, you're in big trouble. Look what's happened to Arkansas.
They haven't won a game, right?
Haven't won a game since they got rid of Sam Pittman. Now maybe you could argue that they wouldn't have won one with him.
So Kentucky Vanderbilt's number 1. What's number 2? And then I go to the phones. Is it going to be Arkansas Texas, which is a great
old rivalry,
old rivalry, an aesthetically pleasing rivalry? Probably get you some good TV numbers. You got Warby Parker out there at quarterback, a.k.a. Arch Manning. Missouri at Oklahoma, which is again would be another aesthetically pleasing game, or Tennessee at Florida. What's number 2 on the weekend, John?
Gosh, if I weren't writing about the games,
just to
if
watch
I
them.
could pick a game, if I were, I think I'm so curious about Florida right now.
Yeah,
that's probably the game I would want to watch, because I just wonder how bad can they be, because Florida was like nothing I'd ever seen against Kentucky.
I don't see any way, Matt, they don't put that game in the 3:30 time slot, do you? That's got to be the 3:30 game, right? Unless they choose Arch Manning for ratings.
Texas and Arch Manning.
Yeah.
That's
possible.
So, if you've got...
if Texas won this weekend, that would be for sure.
So Vanderbilt in Kentucky is the 7:30 game.
I think that's right.
And the 3:30 game...
would be the 2 pick.
So does Tennessee have to be one of those time slots?
No, they've got 3 choices.
What's the other choice?
Brian, what is the other choice? 3, right?
There's 4 SEC on SEC games. You've got Vandy, Kentucky, Ole Miss, Florida, Tennessee, and
no, I mean
Tennessee.
The time slots, Brian. The time slots.
Oh yeah, you've got
noon. They can't be noon. Noon's already taken.
Yeah. It's either 3:30, 4:15, and then 7, 7:45, 7:30.
Texas probably could
going to get to 3:30.
Yeah.
So we'll be a night game, or the 4:30 game, the Dave Neal game.
No, I think you could be the 4:30, 4:15, or 4:30.
Brian, wouldn't that be great? That'd be a great way to close the curtain on that deal. Be the Dave Neal game. Great way to close the curtain on the Florida series.
Yes.
Ended in virtual anonymity.
Please. That gives Tennessee the best chance possible.
Back to the phones we go. I wanted it to be a noon game. Brian made a great point, which I'd totally forgotten about. Last time they won down there was when our defensive coordinator, James Banks, made a great catch at the end of the half. And who knew he was going to rise and become defensive coordinator here? But James Banks made an incredible catch.
Talking to the media today.
What? Tim Banks talking to the media for the first time in 4 months? That's amazing.
I thought he talked to the media earlier.
No. Adam Sparks said last week he hadn't talked to the media since preseason.
Welcome back, Coach.
Welcome back, Kata. Hello and
he hadn't had anything to talk about.
Hello and welcome into our next call. On our TLD Logistics phone lines. You're on the air. Hi.
Cody Basilio, it's Doug and Jaxie. I heard you missed me.
Shout out. We're coming down for a bowl game. We're coming to see you, brah, and everybody's coming.
Sounds good. Come on down in a couple weeks to Gainesville. We'll be there.
You got no. We're coming down to the bowl game. The bowl game in Jacksonville, where the Vols are going.
Sounds good.
I'm excited to see you. How much room do you have for us? Because I stayed in one of your bedrooms one time.
Yeah, we got a bedroom, and then I got a couch that folds out to a bed. So we can handle lots of people.
Okay. If you're still in the same place, I think you could probably accommodate about 1,000 Vol fans.
Yeah, absolutely. There's some Airbnbs close to my house too, so yeah, we can get everybody.
Nice.
Just glad you don't have Nico's Nation to accommodate.
No. That sounds good.
Love me, Nico Nation. So tell me about it, Doug.
So, yeah.
Give me my my thing is, if this team wants to have credibility, they cannot lose in Florida. Cannot do it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you asked where I've been. I've been to every game except for the UAB game so far this year.
Wow.
So coming from Jacksonville's been good. I think you're absolutely right. You got to get this Florida game, especially since you don't play them next year. I mean, if not now, when? Yeah, you got to get some credibility because even if for me, I think for us, just winning there is going to be credibility. Now, maybe nationwide they won't think that we're going to beat a bad Florida team, but I'll take any win over Florida, especially in Gainesville. I moved here in 2004. I haven't seen them win in Gainesville, and I've been there every year.
Jeez Louise,
so we need
man.
this one.
That is Chinese torture, as they say in China.
Absolutely.
You've seen every one of those games in person?
I've been to pretty much every one since I moved here, yeah. So I'm basically, 0 for 10.
Damn, we've invented ways, to lose in Gainesville. Invented ways to lose down there.
Felipe Franks' finest
Jeez
moment.
Louise, man. Felipe Ballpark Franks.
He beat Tennessee at 2 different schools.
Arkansas, that's right. Mm-hmm. And he's a total scrub. Where is Felipe Franks now, guys? Is he coaching somewhere, isn't he?
He was a backup for the Falcons.
Backup for the Falcons.
For a little while.
How about the quarterback the Vols are going to see with New Mexico State coming up?
Barney Fife's cousin.
Yep. One of my favorite, that Fife kid is one of my guilty pleasures of late night football when he was out there on the left coast playing at Fresno. He could throw it around, man. Let's go. So, Doug, is this the year? Do we do it this year? Do we rip the top off of them finally?
It's got to be. I mean, it has to be. And if you don't how much is the Heat going to turn up? Because in my opinion, I think you're either going to go 2-0 or 0-2 in these last 2 conference games. So if you get Florida, I think you'll get Vanderbilt. Or if you don't get Florida, it's going to be tough. I think it'll almost be like role reversal last year with us going to Vanderbilt. It's a win and you're in game, and it could be for them. But I think we're either going to go 2-0, 0-2, and I'm hoping it's 2-0. And if Joey Aguilar can go to Gainesville and win, I don't care what their record is. The dude should never have to buy a meal in the city of Knoxville for the rest of his life. I think it would be, if we can go 2-0 and go 9-3, I think it would end up being a B+, A- season overall, considering our injuries, considering quarterback changes and all that. So I'm personally excited for the last 2 games, especially if we can win those games. And I think it'd be, like I said, we can look back on it and, hey, it's a great season and you can build upon for next year.
There's a lot, Doug, and I appreciate you. There's a lot to live for with the last couple games of the season. But he brought something up. If these guys go 0-2 in that game, in those 2 games, and they get home at what record? 0-2 will put you at
7-5. And then what if you lose a bowl game and you're 7-6?
I mean, these people, this fan base is going to be on that coach and that athletic director like they never thought possible. If they lose that if Kentucky loses to Vandy beats the Vols to go to the playoff, you want to talk about something that will put people on the warpath on that head coach? I know this crowd. I know this fan base. They way overreact to things. They're going to go into full freak-out mode if that happens. full freak-out mode?
Well, the response to that should be hit the portal and hit the portal hard.
And hit the bricks, some members of the coaching staff. Hello and welcome in. You're on our Tuesday John Adams edition. Hi.
Hey, Tony, John, it's Roberto. Good
hey, buddy, welcome in.
Today.
Good to talk to you.
Thank you for being there. Really love when Mr. Adams is on. Fantastic radio, honestly. Appointment radio, even.
Thank you.
Tony.
Thank you.
You were asking a question earlier of, is Florida a must-win? Is that just to make sure you...
No, do you have to have credibility to win this game? If you don't win this game, you don't have credibility. That's our position statement.
Okay.
Your thoughts
I would agree.
on that?
100%. Yes. Kentucky is the new... I'm sorry, Florida is the new Kentucky. You thought about that? Kentucky owns them. Kentucky has beat them 4 out of their last 5 times with Mark Poop at coach. Think about that. Because we fire coaches that lose to Kentucky around here, right? I believe every single coach that's been fired here, except for Phil Fulmer in the last 30 years, has lost to Kentucky their last year. Is that correct?
Wow.
Derek Dooley lost to them.
That's funny.
Butch Jones.
Did he lose to him?
Butch Jones lost to him. We went
once. But that's the only time they lost to him, though. They all had winning records against them.
Jeremy Pruitt, surely he lost to them.
So when it's time to get fired,
you lose to Kentucky.
Well, that's good.
Derek Dooley lasted another year, though. He lost that game in 2011.
But he never faced
He
them
lost
again.
the 11 game up there when Tyler
him.
Bray said, I don't give an S about no effing bowl.
Yep.
Is that...
And we reported that, and everybody freaked out on me, and guess what? That was true.
That's exactly what happened.
But I had former players emailing me going, you can't say that. I'm like, I can say anything I want to say because it's damn true.
And it's your show.
And it's my show. And it's my party, and I'll cry if I want to.
You have to beat Florida.
You got to beat Florida.
You have to beat them.
They're scrubs.
We haven't had a winning streak against Florida since I was in college, Tony, and I'm 45 years old.
Matt Dixon said it best. So even in 2022, when we're cruising at high altitude in our building,
they gave us everything we wanted.
They have a chance at a chuck and duck in the end zone at the end of the game somehow. We make it so much harder. We should have blown them out that day, just like Kentucky blew them out over the weekend. Same kind of deal.
Hopefully they'll wear some weird concept uniform at home, Tony, where it's like a blue helmet and blue jersey, and we just think it's Kentucky, and we railroad them like every time.
There you go. Or like my Eagles last night, all black. Those are really attractive.
All black would be a lot of a funeral, because I will say, if we lose to Florida, I think the last caller, it was Doug and Jaxie, by the way, what's up? Long time no heary. Then we're losing to Vanderbilt at home, too. I agree with that. And if that's, you might as well wear black because it's going to be a funeral.
That's a great point. No, we ought to bring back, and I appreciate the call, we ought to bring back the Lane Kiffin All Blacks. 865-200-5402. It is hour number 2 on your radio. We're going to preview New Mexico State and then get some more calls in. And believe me, this New Mexico State bunch, they are not to be taken lightly.
What?
Huh? What?
Not to be taken lightly.
No, it's going to be a very interesting game. Right, Matt? Sell for him, Matt. Tell me about New Mexico State. You're into it, aren't you? Good run defense? Good ball club?
No. They're the worst rushing team in the country. They've lost a bunch of close games. 2 of them they missed field goals that would have sent them to overtime. Then they lost the game in overtime. Just not a very good team. The one interesting thing is they played Kennesaw State last week, and Kennesaw State essentially runs Heupel's offense because it's Jerry Mack, and the OC's a guy that was a long time Heupel assistant, like going back to his Missouri days. So they're basically seeing the same offense 2 weeks in a row. And obviously a lot more speed this time around.
And Jerry Mack was on whose coaching staff here? Was he a Heupel coach?
Heupel's, yeah.
Originally,
I think they're 7-0 in Conference USA. They lost their first 2 games to like Wake Forest and Indiana, and they've steamrolled through their league. Really impressive job.
Yeah, I watched them beat UTEP in a really entertaining game on a Tuesday night.
I love those Tuesday night Titan
games. Oh, I do too. Well, I want to plug the game tonight too, a MAC game.
Yeah.
Akron is a 5.5-point favorite over Kid State. Akron will be at home. There will be hundreds of people there for that confrontation.
Yes.
And I think it's going to be a heck of a game.
Tens will be in attendance tonight. Hundreds will say they were 20 years from now. It'll be such a classic as we continue with more Hour 2 after this.
You're listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
It's the hottest post-game show on the planet. Garza Law, fifth quarter fan reaction. Fan reaction. As soon as the final gun sounds, we're live.
Score a TD every time with T3 Vodka. T3 is Tennessee's premium vodka, handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka is taking the Volunteer State by storm. T3 Vodka, handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, it's a way of life. Filtered 10 times and 80 proof, T3 Vodka delivers a smoothness that's unmatched. This dedication to excellence has already earned T3 Vodka prestigious accolades. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka and the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat or on the rocks or mixing up your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka is your choice for a premium, award-winning experience. Score a T3 TD and ask for T3 Vodka by name at restaurants and wine and liquor stores today. Drink it neat, drink it right, drink T3 Vodka and score a touchdown every time. T3, Tennessee's premium vodka. Distributed by Athens Distributing Company. Please drink responsibly. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for all your Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. There's nothing better than getting your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree. Picture it, a nice polo shirt, a new hoodie, something for the man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall. Best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations, Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, or online at alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange Christmas. And happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall. The ultimate volunteer shopping experience. Alumni Hall. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. Interior and exterior, Walker's Painting's been making it beautiful since 1999 across the Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, residential, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard Walker's Painting on the Basilio show, 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run, don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999. Check out the ad at the blog at tclub.team. Walker's Painting.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Okay, so we really need uniforms and equipment for this season. Can I trust you with that? Cool, I'll just order them online. What? Yeah, I'm gonna hop online and I'm gonna get them ordered. Hold up, that's not a good idea. We shouldn't just spend money on some random online retailer, okay? I mean, it seems pretty convenient. Trust me, it's a terrible idea. Let me simplify this for you. SM Athletics. Okay, how do you pronounce it? SM Athletics? They're the go-to for uniforms and equipment, whether it's for universities, high schools, youth leagues, you name it. So why wouldn't you rather go with professionals who can guide us through the process, design the perfect uniforms, and deliver the best equipment? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. What's the name again? SM Athletics. Right. It's definitely smarter to go with a company that emphasizes customer service, fair pricing, and, of course, excellent products. Exactly. So, yeah, I guess it's settled then. For uniforms and equipment for all sports, it's SM Athletics.
Yeah, it's another day, but what kind of day is it really? A day of doom scrolling? Laundry day? Nah, it's a White Claw day. Light and refreshing tasting, uniquely cold weight filtered. There's an iconic flavor for everyone. So grab a pack, grab your friends. Make the most of most. When you're together with White Claw, every day is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You just gotta grab it. White Claw. Grab life by the claw. Please drink responsibly. Hard seltzer with flavors. White Claw Seltzer Works, Chicago, Illinois.
Got a problem tree looming over your home? Call ECR Total Landscapes. Whether it's trimming, removal, or storm cleanup, our certified pros get the job done safely and efficiently. We're licensed, insured, and ready 24/7 for emergency calls. Big or small, we cut them all. ECR Total Landscapes. Call now for a free estimate, 865-384-2012, and mention promo code FANRUN for free stump grinding on any tree removal now through the end of the year. Also, visit us at ecrtotallandscapes.com.
Basilio here for Budget Transmissions. PGMD, the great Matt Dixon, took his Ford Escape to budget, and like our gold bullet back in the day, it was a total mess. And now, Matt's back in the game. He's got a new transmission, axle, wheel bearing, both radiator hoses, engine mounts, coolant hoses. I mean, his Ford Escape was about to escape to the junkyard, but he didn't begrudge it. He took it to budget, and now he's on his way back to Omaha. Budget Transmissions, over 30 years in business, conveniently located in Bearden. All extended service contracts are honored. A gold certified Repair Pal member. 865-584-4391. 865-584-4391. Budget Transmissions. Don't begrudge it. Take it to budget.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Josh Collins at Collins Insurance Agency. At Collins Insurance, we strive to ensure our customers receive better coverage along with bigger savings. Our community is important to us. We want to provide exceptional service to our customers. Anybody can provide great rates, great coverage, but can you also get great service? And hey, don't just take my word for it.
What's up, everybody? Zakai Ziegler here. My family turns to Collins Insurance Agency for the best service, coverage, and price.
So don't just go online and get some random insurance. Experience the Collins Insurance difference.
Like he said, experience the Collins Insurance difference. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. And hey, their Mama's Easy approved. CollinsInsuranceTN.com. Josh Collins and ZZ.
One more thing, Tony. Go Vols.
GBO to the great Josh Collins. I say this to you. I'm directing a masterpiece in this segment. Joining us now on your Newsmaker hotline, your TLD Logistics Newsmaker hotline, is Nick Coppola. Nick Coppola, and I will direct the masterpiece with him. He's with Las Cruces Sun News. We were just breaking it down scientifically. New Mexico State's been the epicenter of all that's amazing here the last couple of years. They've got more guys out of the portal that are having an impact. Matt reminded me that Star Thomas played there. This Stowers guy played there, who is crossing the diamond with the pearl and turning it on the whirl. Not to mention Diego Pavia. And I bring Nick Coppola against the backdrop of what could have been. What could have been, Nick Coppola, as I welcome you in. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Paisan, every day is a great day to be alive and well. What's our weather like today in Las Cruces?
Yeah, right now it's about 60 degrees. It's getting a little bit more nippy. It's getting a little bit more cold. It gets that much later here down in southern New Mexico. But it's still a little warm, but the wind's starting to get a little bit chilly, and you gotta start throwing on those sweatshirts and pullovers,
Yeah, it's like, John, what is it here right now? What's our temperature here right now, John Adams?
I thought it was in the 40s when I was outside.
It's not bad, is it?
No, it's warmer than it was yesterday. Yesterday was really cold and the wind was blowing, so it was probably colder here than it was in Las Cruces.
High of 35 yesterday, and we had winds about 15, 20 miles per hour. Yesterday was kind of a take-your-breath-away day.
I will say that I'm a big fan of New Mexico. I've been there a few times on vacation.
And Nick Coppola sharing the lineage of Francis Ford and also faculty at Texas Tech. We have a lot to talk about with him. But
he was on the faculty at Texas Tech?
No, his dad is.
Really?
Yeah. Isn't that right, Nick?
Yeah, he was. He was. So we got a job at the Texas Tech Health Science Center. That's how I ended up in Lubbock. And that's how I grew up in Lubbock. I wish I was related to Francis Ford Coppola, but unfortunately I can't say that. But it's cool. It's cool to share the last name at least.
They shoot a lot of movies there. They shoot a lot of movies, right, John?
In New Mexico.
In New Mexico, such as Name me a movie, John, that was shot there.
I can't remember the names of any of them.
Interesting. On
Thank
your TLD
you for asking, though.
On your TLD logistics phone line.
They've shot a lot of movies. They've shot a lot in my home state of Louisiana too, because they have favorable tax structures and so forth for movie companies.
Segment. Let me see. I got to check the segment. Hang on. Let me walk over and feel the patient here. Barely breathing. Hey, Nick, from your perspective, because John, I don't know what John's doing to the segment here.
What am I doing?
Huh? Nick, tell me about this New Mexico State team Tennessee is going to see. We were talking with Matt Dixon, who does deep dives on all of our opponents a moment ago, and he was sharing that New Mexico State's been in some very close games, and they saw an offense that's similar to Tennessee's last week with what Jerry Mack runs, so there is that. But they've been in a lot of close games.
Yeah, they really have, especially last week. They played Kennesaw State. They went down 24-0. But then, they came back. They were made 24-7, and they scored 2 touchdowns in the fourth. Made it 24-21, but unfortunately for them, missed the game-winning field goal to tie the game and the game-tying field goal to tie it and then send it into overtime. So, and that's at least the third time they've lost a game in a similar way. Liberty, they lost in pretty much the exact same way. They were down 30-27, drove into field goal range, but then missed a field goal, and then Missouri State, they lost in overtime. And even some of their other losses, too, like, against Louisiana Tech and New Mexico, games that, look lopsided on the scoreboard. They lost by 35 and 18, both those teams respectively. They were only down by about 13 against Louisiana Tech in the fourth quarter, and they just let it really slip away. And New Mexico, they were up 17-3 at one point. They were up at halftime, but then they just got outscored the rest of the way and got just dominated in the second half and let it slip. So it's a team that just, they found a lot of ways to lose recently. They've let games kind of slip away and get away from them. But, a couple more things that could have gone their way in those games. They're sitting there with 4-5, 5-4. Maybe they were already bowlable at 6-3, but, they found ways to lose.
How big of a game is when they play New Mexico? Like, how big of a game is that in that state?
Oh, it's huge. It's huge. It is the game in New Mexico. Both sets of fan bases, they have a hatred for each other. New Mexico sold out the stadium. I think that was the first time they sold out the stadium, first time in many, many years. When they play in Las Cruces, it's always a big draw, always the most attended game of their season there. So yeah, that is the game. I think it's a pretty underrated rivalry. Maybe it gets overlooked because it's a Cooper 5 rivalry. Maybe it doesn't get that much attention nationally, but it is a very heated rivalry with a lot of passion.
I enjoy college football. I like things like that in terms of the rivalries and those interstate rivalries. And down through the years, one of the things that we've lamented on this show is the fact that Vanderbilt hasn't been good enough to really have like a lot of juice in that interstate deal. But this Diego Pavia guy, who comes from right out of that New Mexico State program, along with the Stowers guy, they provided some serious juice. How shocked are the people in Las Cruces with what's going on there, with how Diego has exploded?
Yeah, I would say, Diego was good at New Mexico State, so maybe just not too surprising for the fan base here to just see him go do well at another place. But it's also like, man, I wish we still had him, doing great here at New Mexico State. But they're happy for Diego and all the guys, of course, we talk about Eli Stowers. They're available. There's a bunch of other guys like Tim Beck, their offensive coordinator. He was at New Mexico State before he went over to Vanderbilt. And so there's a lot of MSU guys there. Vanderbilt doing well. Pavia is the main one, and yeah, they're happy for him. I said deep down, they're happy for him.
How many transfers do they have right now in G4 football? Do you know? Active guys.
The number off the top of my head, yeah. I'm not. It's got to be at least like 30, 40. I mean, there's so maybe 30. Some. I mean, there's so many. I mean, I can't even count off some of that. Even from last year's team, they went 3-9. There's still a good chunk of players who have gone and transferred to power conference schools, and they've done really well.
You know what we don't think about here, guys, and I'm talking to John Adams and Matt Dixon and Brian Hartman, and any living listener, is how many transfers we have that are currently playing college football? Because last year we had 7 wide receivers go into the portal. Nico went into the portal. Some defensive players went into the portal. Matt, what do you think that number is for the Vols, if you really sat down and thought about it? Guys that signed here, that left, that are currently active all across college football.
I'd say 45 or 50.
It's crazy, guys.
I think the Akron running back is former Vol.
Really? Because Harrison Bailey is still hanging around on Florida's roster. I saw his name in a story the other day. Did you know that?
I forgot about him.
See, that's my point. I mean, they're everywhere.
And he still can't get on the field on this team?
We were watching the night that, help me out, Matt. Virginia beat somebody on a Friday night. One of our former wide receivers got run over, almost got trampled.
Yeah, Squirrel White. I think he has 5 catches on the season, but one of them was a touchdown against Bama that first week.
I thought he was going to be a good SEC player.
I thought he had a good nickname. Talk to me here as we visit today with Nick Coppola, Las Cruces Sun News. How hard is it for you to cover a team that's kind of as challenged as they are there?
Yeah, I mean, there are some ways you got to try to keep it interesting, but I have fun doing it. I love it. Going to cover a college football team, win or lose, it's still fun, and you feel bad for the fan base, that's gotta experience that. And there could be some challenges with that, fans can kind of snippy sometimes, but that's just because they're upset and they're passionate about their team. But it's fun. I have fun with it. I feel like I always find a way to keep it interesting and keep people tuned in. So overall, I enjoy it, even though maybe a losing team isn't as much fun to cover as a team that's winning.
What are the crowds like there? What kind of crowds we drawing?
Yeah, so they could draw around. Last week they got 11,000. So normally it's about 10,000. The capacity in the stadium is about 25,000. So maybe definitely not sold out crowds by any means. But they can get a decent drawing. Especially when they play on Saturdays. They play some weekday conference games. Just because that's what Conference USA does to get on national television. So they can kind of take a dip there. But those Saturday games, they can get a few more butts in the seats.
Matt Dixon, jump in here. Nick Coppola joining. He is with your Las Cruces Sun News.
Yeah, Nick, just what is it about New Mexico State's defense? They saw basically the same offense last week, a long-time Josh Heupel assistant. It's kind of a unique deal. They go from a league game versus Kennesaw to Tennessee, a huge, jumping in competition, but it's basically the same offense. Is there anything that Tony Sanchez has said about that, being able to kind of the last 2 weeks focus on the same thing defensively?
Yeah, they feel there's some familiarity there because they, like you said, they just played Kennesaw State last week, and they have some similarities to Tennessee. So maybe not a big jump and be like, okay, now we prepared for this offense, and now we got to prepare for a totally different look that we're going to see on Saturday in Knoxville. So there's some familiarity there on the defensive end and how they're going to prepare.
What is New Mexico State? What do they do well?
Takeaways. They have had 20 takeaways this season. They've had 12 interceptions. That's the second most in Conference USA. And their 8 fumble recoveries are tied for first in Conference USA. So 20 total takeaways. They had 2 takeaways last week against Kennesaw State. So, that's a really big thing that they've done very well. And a big turnaround, too. Last year, they only got 10 takeaways, which was the worst mark in Conference USA. So that's really been a big turnaround. They still have a few more games left in the season. They've already doubled that total. So that's really good for them, and that's going to be big for them this Saturday if they want to try to keep close against Tennessee. Because Tennessee, of course, has a really good offense, probably one of the best in the country. So they keep them off the field, prevent them from getting points. Those takeaways are going to be really important to keep that offense off the field as much as possible.
John Adams, presented by the great Jennifer Morris. Next move, SmokyMountains.com. You're on with Nick Coppola. Go ahead.
Yeah, Nick, I was curious. You said you were in Lubbock. How long ago was that, and did you see Texas Tech coming in this NIL era the way it has?
John just loves these guys.
Yeah, so I was there. I first moved to Lubbock when I was 6 years old, and I left in 2020 to go to college at OU. So 12 years. I grew up there. Go back there a lot. For me, I mean, there's a lot of passionate people out there in West Texas, and a lot of passionate people with a lot of money that want to give it to Texas Tech. So maybe for me, being from there and knowing the area, knowing the people, maybe not as surprising to me as it might be to other people. The amount of money it is still kind of sends me when I see it, because it's such a big dollar figure. But they've always had it. They've always had people who are very rich, and they love Tech, and they want to give that money to Tech. So, and it's not just football too. I mean it's softball. They just win the national championship series based off the support and the financial resources that they're getting. It's the same thing that's a lot of their men's basketball teams. So be competitive and stay good and stay on the top as well.
Nick, do you have any second thoughts about not entering the oil business when you were there in London? maybe, but I feel like this is what God called me to do, and I love this. Following His path is better than what I want to do.
Amen to that, brother. It's nothing like feeling like you're in the spot you should be in your life, and following your life's passion, man. There's nothing wrong with that. So what do you think this weekend? What kind of fight does New Mexico State put up in this one?
Yeah, well, they'll definitely put a point. They're 3-6, so they have no room for error now. So if they want to go to a bowl game, they can't lose anymore. And so they're going to bring a fight. Efforts have really been a question for this team. They're always in it. They always have a desire. So they are going to bring a bit of a fight. I don't know if that's going to affect the outcome of the game. I still think this team wins them pretty handily. But you will see them. You will see them fight. Tony Sanchez, their head coach, is a very fiery guy. He's a very passionate guy. So that translates into the team and how they play. So you will definitely see that if you go to the game on Saturday.
You're my man. If folks want to reach out to you, Paisan, how do they do so? You've been an absolute honor and a pleasure to visit with.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. If you want to reach out to me, I'm on Twitter at Nick_Coppola __. I have a Facebook sports page, just Nick Coppola, Las Cruces Sports. You can find me there on Facebook, and then my email. If you want to reach out and say something, is mcoppola at lcsun-news.com. So if you want to send an email, that's the way to do it.
Believe that. And Paisan, thank you. Great talking to you.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, my man. Yeah. God bless you too, brother. On your TLD Logistics phone line. Really nice, good man there. Solid man there.
I like him.
Yep.
He's a good guy. Did you, Tony? When you're getting guests for your show, I'm just curious what you just did. When I started talking, was my sound not on? You adjust that?
Yeah, I turn it on and off.
So
we have a mute button.
Okay, but so when I started talking, no one was hearing me. Does that happen all the time?
I don't know. Does it? I don't think so.
Okay.
Although we did have a commercial break with like 90 seconds of dead air a few minutes ago because I wasn't paying attention in here. But.
That's hard to believe.
Well,
wait a minute, Tony.
William Pattison, one correction here from our last segment, and then you can go to your question. So Felipe Ballpark Franks came up. And Felipe Ballpark Franks, Brian, is now a tight end for the Atlanta Falcons, according to the great William Pattison, who's up next here on Fan Run Radio.
That's awesome.
That's crazy. We lost 2 games to an NFL tight end, Matt.
Lost
at 2 different schools.
Lost one to Matt Jones at Arkansas, quarterback.
And he was a wide receiver.
He became a tight end later in the NFL.
He was a great player, great athlete, that kid.
Yeah.
That's a guy that could really jump high and...
Had some off-the-field issues later on, but we won't go into that.
Well, New Mexico State, he says they're going to go to a bowl game. They're going to have a bowl game Saturday night when that game's over. Because that's the only bowl game they're going to. I can promise you that.
Well...
As in smoking things from plants. I mean, no offense.
Tony, when you're selecting guests to come out and you do a good job of that,
it's Brian Hartman.
So you don't influence Brian?
No.
So, Brian, when you're selecting guests, if a person is Italian, does that enhance his chances of getting on the show? Or are you an equal opportunity guest hunter?
It's usually just whoever will reply to my email in a timely manner. That's usually how it works. And I'm thankful for everybody that does that.
In other words, if you want to be a guest on this show, here's what you got to do with a mirror. You ready?
There's been some where I've found some that
Matt, what's the qualification to get on here? You ready as a guest? If you can fuck up a mirror, you can guest on here. And Nick Coppola, certainly.
No, Nick did a good job, and you have some good guests. Don't be ridiculing the quality of your guests, Tony. That's totally inappropriate. I hope Nick's not listening.
Nick Coppola, thank you. Great job, buddy.
I would think his last name would help him get in the movie industry.
No question. I'd ride that wave. I was outside of with the great Paul Gilbert back in the day. When in my younger days, I looked like Vinny Testaverde. And I told this guy, and he gave us free parking outside of the Tampa Stadium. He goes, "You look a lot like Vinny Testaverde." And I said, "I'm his younger brother." I leaned right into it.
Vinny Testaverde incognito.
Yep. I leaned right into it.
I remember when I was in Jacksonville doing a one-on-one interview with Vinny Testaverde, and you look absolutely nothing like him.
Oh, when I was a kid, I looked just like him. Just like him.
I have a hard time seeing that.
Take his hair and lop it off.
Yeah, I don't
and take about 30 years off of me.
He's a little taller than you are.
Yeah, but I'm attractive. Vinny Testaverde, Ronnie Cycli was another one. We touch them all on here. All right, so
Brian, how many rejections do you usually get when you're requesting guests?
So Matt, we're gonna pivot here. Let's pivot. We've got a sponsor, WeShipFloors.com. Matt, what kind of a sport would you say Negative is? Because we've doing something here we've never done before, which is to say, crack on a caller during a commercial. We're going to debut a commercial here right now, and I want y'all's thoughts on this. Matt, what kind of a sport do you think Negative is, Matt? You think he's going to take it in stride? We have a Negative discount.
Oh yeah, he'll like that. He'll think that's funny.
All right.
So exactly what is this we're doing?
Well, Alan at WeShipFloors.com. We recorded a new spot yesterday, and he's got a terrific product. I mean, this super easy for me to say. Supercore floor is just, it's incredible. And the truth is that Alan absolutely gets it done. And Justin Anderson says there's a great slate of college games tonight in a super chat over at YouTube. I apologize, YouTubers. I'm just now getting in over here. But he says, great slate of basketball tonight. Go Cards. I second that emotion. Why not? Go Cards. Go Cards indeed. Matt, Kentucky, Louisville should be a fun game tonight, yes?
Yeah, I would think so. It's surprising that it's during the week.
Yeah,
the VIP line is Kentucky plus 5.5.
What's up with that, y'all?
Well, why is that not a Saturday game?
Why is that not a Saturday game? What are we doing with sports right now, y'all? And why are so many sucky games being played right now that just kind of suck in college football this weekend? What are we doing in this league, John?
Well, next week
is... That's a hard-hitting question. That could be a column, John.
Yeah, I've written that column.
Next week, John. What's going on here, man?
It's what's going on is what's been going on for years. It's not a new development, Tony. I want to correct myself because I said Akron's running back played at Tennessee.
Yeah.
That was misinformation that was given to me by the the commentators on last week's Akron game. He's actually from Tennessee State.
But Matt brought up a really good point. If we were to sit down and count the number of, because they at Tennessee, like Bill Martin and them, they do a thing called Vols in the NFL, and they send it out to the media, which is great. And Bill Martin had another great poll today, and Bill does a great job over there. But there's another great poll that he had today, which is on this Maxwell Freshman All-America Freshman of the Year thing presented by the Maxwell Club. Tennessee's the only team in America that has 2 guys on that list, 2 freshmen on that list. And both of them are excellent. Now, they made a liar out of me with this Braylon Staley guy. They knew that they had a player that could play. I banged on them all offseason about not getting more out of the transfer portal, and it turns out they were right and I was wrong. Take a sip. And then, John, this cornerback they've gotten who was kind of a lightly recruited guy out of the state of Georgia, is going to be a really nice player. Now, he's taking his lumps, but he's going to be a really, really nice player here. No doubt about it, is there?
Not many freshmen start at cornerback in the SEC.
Yep. Not many, if any.
Well, so about this schedule, do you want to talk some more about that?
Well, I mean, the schedule's kind of a joke, isn't it?
Okay.
You know?
But it's been a joke for a long time. That's why going to 9 games. That's why I would prefer you go to a 10-game schedule, 10-game SEC schedule.
Yes.
Play one Power 4 team outside the SEC.
Yes.
And you have one cupcake that you open the season with, like a preseason game. That would be so much better for the fans.
Pruitt's Neckgator said, "Stop breathing in my ear, Tony." No, I'm imitating what you got to do to be a guest on here. And now we've crossed a new Rubicon. And the Rubicon is we now have advertisers that are going out of their way to make fun of callers. And I like this. I'm going to see if you like it. Let's go. Here with Alan from WeShipFloors.com. Alan, is it true? Are we really having a Black Friday sale? Lay it on me.
Yeah, Tony, Black Friday is the biggest time of the year for us. We're going to do a 40% off sale. That's what we're doing to everybody else. But for the Tony Basilio listeners, we're going to do 45% off. So you get an additional 5% off, which should be hundreds of dollars. All you got to do is use the promo code Tony. But for the real listeners, we're going to do another promo code. The second promo code is going to be promo code Negadave. So with the promo code Negadave, you can actually pay 5% more. So 35% off using promo code Negadave, 45% off using promo code Tony.
We're kind of having some fun here, but when you're talking about 120 Supercore floors, I've shown them over on the website, the video. You can't destroy this floor.
Very tough floor that I designed. When I say literally millions of square feet, we've got 2 warehouses in Johnson City full of flooring. We're ready to go for any size project. But yeah, it's a remarkable product. It's the best waterproof flooring on the market because we sold everyone else's floors and I designed the floor that's better than everyone else.
WeShipFloors.com. Free shipping to all, anywhere in the country.
Go Vols, Tony.
All right. John, thoughts on that? Ripping a caller in the middle of a commercial.
That was pretty awesome. I like that guy. I don't need any flooring.
I love Alan.
It makes me want to go buy flooring and just put it in my backyard.
Matt, your thoughts on ripping Negadave in the middle of a commercial? Yes or no?
I'm for it. I like it. I like it.
Totally illiterate. He did
Gotta
it
keep
yesterday.
things fresh on the show.
He did it yesterday, and I was like, okay, let's leave it in. Some of you that are Negadave acolytes, you can pay more. Use the promo code Negadave. Who knows? Negadave might end up with a sponsored element on here. We might be on to something.
Oh, I like this idea.
And who could different sponsors be for different, like some of these different types of callers? Because Negadave, Metamucil, Kaopectate, Pepto-Bismol, go to the phones.
I think you should have callers. I could see a future world in which callers have sponsors.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe we should do a show one day where we try to match callers with a particular, like, sponsor out there. Because Negative, I'm telling you, Rolaids, what are some other antacids? We'll get to that on the other side after this. Are you currently a residential electrician? Would you like more benefits, better pay, more upside? What about a $3,000 signing bonus? Free company-paid health insurance, annual profit share, company vehicle, gas card, much more. Call Advent Electric today. Advent, known for their large commercial jobs around town, and due to high demand, they're adding additional roles for their residential department. Maybe you know a friend, family member that's a residential electrician. Spread the word. Email hr@adventelectric.com. hr@adventelectric.com. 865-588-0631 and ask for the Tony B 3K signing bonus. Advent Electric is hiring. You got to dream about buying some land and building on that land. Well, Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true, Michael Scott. For hundreds in our area, custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Structural integrity, quality without compromise. It's a way of life with Waterside Contract. Check out the wonderful work Waterside does. WatersideContractingLLC.com. When it's time for your dreams to come true. Quality without compromising. Waterside Contracting.
College football fans, Chris Fowler here with the play call. This season, go for Dose with ice-cold, refreshing Dos Equis. It's more than a single play. It's a mindset. Think of it as a 2-point conversion for real life. Taking the risk, making the bold move. Whenever we get the chance to go big, we take it. On the field and off, always go for Dose with Dos Equis.
Enjoy Dos Equis responsibly. Copyright 2024 Dos Equis Lager Especial Beer. Imported by Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York.
Hi, I'm Jim Simpson, owner of Simpson Meats. When's the last time you grilled a really good burger or steak? One your friends still talk about. Our goal at Simpson Meats is to make that happen every time you have a cookout. All of our cuts of meats, steaks, burgers, briskets, and pork are always fresh, flavorful, and sustainably sourced. We are family owned, so we know the importance of knowing how and where your food is raised. We have been putting quality first since 1888. Visit our butcher shop off Lovell Road or online at simpsonmeats.com.
Hey there, Basilio family. Jennifer Morse here with Keller Williams Realty. The countdown to fall football is on. Is your fall plan missing the perfect home to watch the Vols make another playoff run? If a new view is on your game day checklist, I'm ready to help you find it. Don't wait until kickoff. Give me a call today at 865-694-5904 or visit my website at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
Tony Basilio, and we are live once again with Chad Stockton of FC Alliance. And Chad, you're out there on the field, 100 strong here in Knoxville. Talk to me. What's been going on with FC Alliance now that the weather's heating up?
We're out here for the first night of the boys' tryouts. We have over 400 kids that'll be here tonight. So a lot of exciting times right now for us. Our club team start at U9 and we go all the way through U19. We have over 1,000 kids that come from Chattanooga from the Tri-Cities that make all our teams and make this club what it is today. So we're excited about it. We finished the younger kids a couple of weeks ago. We just finished the girls last night, and now we're on to our older boys program as we speak right now.
And we're blowing and going in the Tri-Cities. Tell me about it.
We started FC Alliance North 1 year ago, and coming off the first year, we are the largest, most competitive club up in the Tri-Cities area. We just finished our tryouts last night. Looks like right now we will be well over 400 kids for the upcoming season. So great things happening up there. We've put our boys into some really good regional leagues. So we're excited about what the future holds for them and also our girls programs.
If you want more information, check them out at fcallianceknox.org. That's fcallianceknox.org. Chad Stockton, keep growing the beautiful game here in East Tennessee.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony.
Tony Basilio along with the great Mark Griffin. And we're here to talk about our friends at Performance Medicine. And Griff, their slogan, stay educated, stay healthy, That's you.
Wow, I really like to think that, Tony, and I'd like to give Dr. Rogers a lot of credit because I definitely want to stay educated and healthy, and knowing that he's putting the time and effort in to make sure of my care, I want to encourage your listeners to put the time to learn and become educated and get to know Dr. Rogers and see if it can help with your health as well.
And there's a really, really easy way to do that. In fact, they've got their own YouTube channel. You can see Dr. Rogers for himself with his staff. It's called The Performance Medicine Show over at the Performance Medicine channel over on YouTube. Also, more information at performancemedicine.net. To our friends in North Knoxville, a brand new location over in Fountain City, now accepting patients. So many ways to reach Dr. Rogers. And like they say, stay educated, stay healthy. Performance Medicine, online, performancemedicine.net.
Located in Knoxville's historic Old City, Barley's offers great food, live music, the best draft beer selection in town, and now your new favorite place to watch sports. Their indoor projector is perfect for any weather, and they've revamped their upstairs area with more TVs to take in all of the action. Their menu features hand-battered chicken tenders, juicy burgers, fresh salads, and the tastiest pizza in Knoxville. You can enjoy their happy hour drink specials daily from open until 6 p.m. Barley's Tap Room and Pizzeria.
When it's past high noon, it's time for a vodka soda made with a vodka you've actually heard of. I'm talking White Claw vodka soda made with White Claw premium vodka. JB Smooth only drinks vodka soda made with the world's smoothest vodka.
And you can too. Pick you up a bottle of the triple wave filtered vodka that's been distilled 5 times. White Claw premium vodka comes in 4 flavors: black cherry, mango, pineapple, and just vodka. You haven't had vodka like this. No one has. White Claw Premium Vodka. Please drink responsibly.
Shout out to my man, Florida. Great to hear him on that spot. 865-200-5402. That's his lone appearance this week on the show.
He'll be on here next week with the Gators and Vols.
No, he won't.
I bet he will.
You can't find him with a search warrant.
I guarantee you he'll be on the show.
You
next
can't
week.
find him.
He will call.
You can't.
He's not. You can't get him down. He'll
you
bounce
can't
back.
find him with a search. Can't get him down. You can't find him with a search warrant right now.
He was on I think he was on last week.
865-200-5402 if you want to hunt and mix with us and mix hunt. Let's go back to the phones. John Adams presented by Jennifer Morris, Next Move, SmokyMountains.com. Matt Dixon by our friends over at, shout out. Let's go to our phones and get our next call in. Hello and welcome.
How are my French compatriots doing today?
W. Lynn, welcome in.
John, to you and all the veterans, I really want to wish you a happy Veterans Day and thank you for your service.
Thank you, John.
Thanks, W. Lynn. I appreciate your remembering that. Tony didn't pay any attention to it. It's no big deal to him.
He's got other things on his mind. Could I clarify something? WVLT reported this morning the game times for Florida, there's only 3 choices.
That's right.
3:30, 7, and 7:30.
Right. 3:37,
7 is probably SEC Network, and that's probably where we'll land.
I hope not.
I thought that was a 7:45 slot.
I'm telling you what they said today. I don't know which one's ESPN Prime. I thought it was 7:30.
The national game is 7:30. That's right. That's the first choice.
Okay, the 2 big games are Texas, Georgia, and Oklahoma, Alabama. So that'd be the first 2 choices, I think.
Oh, I thought we were talking about the Florida week.
Yeah, we're talking about Florida week, W. Lynn.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Florida week. Okay, yeah, but they did say for the Florida week it's 3:37, 7:30. I'm wrong about those games. You're right.
Don't do that to me. You're like really, 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 really mixing and matching my metaphors. You just scrambled my brain, W. Lynn.
How are the Machi tickets coming, Tony?
Buddy, we are close to our goal. We're going to get there. We're going to make it.
Okay, well, that's great news. I was just thinking next year with a 9-game schedule, all those non-conference games, I think, are bunched together up in September.
That's going to be great, man. It's going to be nice weather to do that. You think we'll still be able to do it, W.
You'll have to move it maybe to off an SEC game, I guess. So.
We won't be able to do an SEC game, but we'll do it early in the year.
Okay, well, I'm glad you're close to the goal. I've been trying to spread the word myself about it.
Yeah,
so,
they've really been coming in. Thank you, my brother.
Okay, well, that is great. And as far as this Florida game, it's actually going to be 5 weeks since they've had a home game.
Wow.
October 18th, they played Mississippi State. So, look, I've got a feeling those people are going to be borderline violent down there. All they care about is they're looking forward to a new coach, which they probably think's Lane Kiffin. Their joy this year is going to be beating us in Florida State, so they're going to be amped up, almost Clockwork Orange like, a classic movie of hooligans and thugs running around. So if you're going to the game, and the UT fans, I would walk in groups. I recommend a Greek phalanx and keep your head on a swivel.
Well, as Buzz Peterson used to say, shout out to Ben Zorio, keep your head on a swizzle. And from your perspective, Matt Dixon, how many fans will be there from your perspective, Matt?
If there's decent weather, maybe 70, 65. I mean,
I don't think.
Wonder how many UT fans are going, Tony.
That's another great question.
This might be a chance where you could get tickets. A Tennessee fan could get tickets to a Florida game.
I'm just saying, be careful down there. I've been there once. It was mainly good, but
how long ago was that, W. Lynn?
It was 1985 when Florida was the most illegal team in America, and I count that as a win. The way we count forfeits and forfeited games and all that now, in my book, the Sugar Vols went 10-0-2 that year.
I was actually covering that game, W. Lynn. I was a columnist at Jacksonville at the time, 17-10.
Yeah,
Florida
great game.
won that game, yeah. And you were at that game.
Oh, yeah, it was hot. It was one of the hottest moments I've ever been in a stadium. I mean, it was terrible. People were passing out everywhere.
Boy, it cooks down there in September. No doubt about it.
So you really haven't encountered the Gator fan base like in the last 40 years?
No, but I've heard stories those people... They don't care about wins and losses. They care about ruining our season and Florida State season. I just think you better be carrying some mace or something.
They care about acting like white trash rednecks is what they care about.
Yeah.
They
don't care about showing up. They're the biggest bandwagon fans.
That's exactly right.
About any sport.
That's why, Matt,
unless
I'll be
they're
surprised.
winning big, they don't even show up for most of their sports.
If Ole Miss cooks them this week, like I think Ole Miss is going to cook them, and that kid struggles down there and Ole Miss gets their revenge. Like, John, what do you think? It's like a 13-point line, which I'm surprised by. I thought it'd be more points than that.
It's up to 15.5.
15.5, okay. So,
oh, wow.
From that perspective, do you think Ole Miss covers this weekend, John?
Yes, I do.
So do I.
I think Ole Miss hammers Florida.
I think they beat them like they're mad at them. Yep.
Yeah, I do too. And do you think most Florida fans think they're getting Lane Kiffin right now?
John? I think both those fan bases think they're getting Lane Kiffin. I think LSU thinks they're getting them, and I think Florida thinks they're getting them. But there's a lot of chatter in that industry that Lane Kiffin and them could be a real thing. Who knows? I've always heard that one thing to watch if Lane Kiffin's going to take another job is the place where he's going to go, if he does go. Ed Ogeron is going to be put in place as the caretaker of the program till Lane can coach through the playoffs. The question is, would Ole Miss stand for that? Or would they bid him adieu? See, that really would put Ole Miss in a really tough spot. Their athletic department.
It would.
Matt, how would you play it if you were Ole Miss? If Lane Kiffin came to you and said, hey, look, this is John Reeves. This is where Layla's dad was. This is where I got started as a head coach, yada, 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 in that state. And this is too good for me to pass up. Would you kick him out, Matt? or would you let him coach through the season? How would you handle it, Matt?
I mean, you're saying they would make Orgeron like the interim head coach
at Florida
as a placeholder?
Yeah, at Florida. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
I guess you let him coach it out because you're in the playoffs, but I don't know. That's a weird deal.
If I'm Ole Miss, I'd let him coach because Ole Miss may never be here again.
That's where we're at. He's right, John. What do you think? If I'm Ole Miss, I let him coach because I'm old. I know who I am.
You have to if you're them.
John, what do you say?
I'm not sure Ole Miss would do that. I think Ole Miss, there's a lot of pride with SEC programs. I just don't know if they would do that. I have a real problem.
I think they're going to want to win when they can.
I agree with
that. They win,
but I don't
keep
think
him on board.
I think Ole Miss is a playoff team. It's not a national championship contender. I don't think it'll have a long run in the playoffs. But for Lane Kiffin, would he leave a team that's in the playoff? If Florida says you can be our coach, or LSU says you can be our coach, but we need to hire you now. We can't wait.
That's what I'm saying. Right. So
no, but
if there's somebody else says
he said we want you to be our coach right now.
I don't think you could leave with a straight face. Now that would be really.
Or they'll try to keep it secret through the playoffs, which will probably be impossible.
Yep.
Yeah, because if one of those schools doesn't, you go into the playoffs and one of those schools still doesn't have a head coach.
Yep.
You've got to assume that Lane Kiffin is going to one of those places.
That part will be interesting. I'm just ready for Ole Miss to crash and burn again. I can't stand them.
Why do you have this hatred for Ole Miss?
Because we used to have to play a bunch of our games and home games at Memphis. That was Bob Woodruff set that up before Coach Majors came here. And I spent so many miserable times losing to Ole Miss in the Liberty Bowl that I just can't stand Ole Miss.
But W. Lynn, I bet you never had to carry mace to a Tennessee Ole Miss game, unlike Florida.
Thank you, W. Lynn. That's a very interesting perspective. So we go back to our phones here on your TLD Logistics phone lines. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Well, I just be damn. You know what? I always call in when y'all talking about the Gators, man. Listen.
I told you, Tony.
Hey, W. Lynn needs to stay off the salt. Tell W. Lynn to lay off the salt. Because he's coming out talking about us, man, like that, bro.
And that was 40 years ago, though, Florida. He hasn't been there since 85.
Hey, would you mind if Kiffin coached in the playoffs? Would it bother you?
No. No.
Because it might be the last time he takes your job. It might be the last time he coached in the playoffs for a while.
Would
if your track record's any indication. See, we make the playoffs here. We live in the playoffs here compared to you people.
Tony B, you don't live for the playoffs. You made it last year and got mollywopped.
How many college playoffs have you been to, Florida?
How many championships you got, Tony B?
How many college playoffs? We're in a playoff era. We're in a playoff era, not a chip era. We're in a playoff era. Okay. How many have you been to?
How many chips do you got? How many chips do you have?
How many playoff appearances do you have?
None, but how many chips do y'all have? We got more chips than y'all.
You got Buffalo chips. That's what you got. Give me a break.
Man, you know what? I tell you what. Now you're talking trash because you know what we like now. You saw what we was like last week, and now you're talking trash. And now you think you can beat us now, Tony B. But last week you was kind of nervous when you saw how y'all played against Oklahoma. But look at you now. Look at you now. You flipped the script so much, man. You ought to be an actor. Cause you Rock Hudson Jr., brother. You know what I mean? You flip
Rock
the script
Hudson,
like
of all the actors you have to choose from, you have to give me a guy that has something in common with
Tony's always talking about how good looking he is, and Rock Hudson was good looking. I think that's a fair comparison.
Yeah, he just shifts the ship a lot. But Tony B, you need to stop that, buddy. You need to stop that because you know what? We still gonna play y'all competitive. We got a lot of people hurt too. We got a lot of people hurt, Tony B. All our receivers are hurt.
Yep,
and you gonna talk to us like this, bro? I'm sitting in the middle of Chili's and everybody looking at me like I'm crazy because you come up here and want to embarrass the Gators.
That's why
what's wrong with you?
That's why you're a must-win, babe.
But Tony B, leave that man alone, man. Y'all, what's his name? Y'all talking about getting little licks from y'all? Come on, man, leave him alone, bro. You be on everybody, man. You hang up on me. My buddy said he hang up on you all the time. I said, yeah, he do.
Dude, I never hang up on you.
I've heard you hang up on him.
When?
Yeah, he hang up on me all the time, man.
What?
But listen, Tony B.
Last
week. If you know somebody wants some tickets, and I'm still in mine because we got the Rocky Top League that's going down on the weekend. I'm going. My son didn't want to go. He want to play with his team. So we selling our tickets if you know somebody want to buy something.
All right,
and they're good seats.
I'll pass them along. Your tenant? Are you talking about your New Mexico State tickets?
Yes, I'm in the 10th row, 9th seat on the 40-yard line.
For the Florida
Come and see
game.
me if y'all want it.
Florida game or New Mexico State?
Huh?
The Florida game in Gainesville or New Mexico State?
No. Florida Tennessee game.
Oh, wow. All right. Hang right there, Florida. I'll get somebody hooked up with you. You're out of here. To the living listener, I love you. William Pattison and the Playbook are up next. Shout out to William. William knows the stuff. He knew that we lost to an NFL tight end twice who played for the Florida Gators. It was one of their better quarterbacks they've had in a while.
Boy,
they would love to have Felipe Franks back. We love you. God bless. GBO.
Listening to FM 105.7 and AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville, Fan Run Radio.
And there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Just like that, we're in extra time, overtime. Just like that.
It's TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime, presented by TLD Logistics. Online at tldlogistics.com. And now let's go to the guys with today's edition of TLD Logistics Overdrive Overtime.
Nick Wilson says the following. I'm going to give Florida some credit. This guy's team totally sucks. They're about to go 4-8. And he's over here talking mad trash. You gotta like a guy that commits to the bit like that, Matt. I'm for people that commit to the bit, Matt. I like it. What do you think?
Well, what else can he do? I mean, until we beat him, I'd be pretty confident that I could beat Tennessee too if I was there.
Oh, come on. He knows they're taking an absolute beating next Saturday night. Or Saturday afternoon.
So he had tickets for the Tennessee-Florida game, and he's selling them?
He's got to sell them.
Oh, I see.
Because Megatron's got a game.
He's, I think Florida's the kind of caller, I could see someone sponsoring him.
Is there like a, let me think here. Bail Bonds Company? Well, he's another guy. You could do the diarrhea thing on him. Brian, what's an anti-diarrhea? Because he's got diarrhea of the mouth. What's a diarrhea?
What's that stuff?
Or like a heartburn medication.
You drink it for laxative. It's like a...
Do we really want to talk about this?
What's that laxative stuff? That citrate?
Let's don't talk about
citrate
this.
stuff when you want to get a good clean out going. What's that called, John?
Milk of magnesia.
Florida's Call, presented by our friends at Milk of Magnesia, online at milkofmagnesia.com. It's got a nice ring to it.
Let's change topics here, Tony. Come on.
Back to the phones we go if you want to get in the hunt and in the mix with us, and in the mix and in the hunt. It is your Tony Basilio show with you. You know, this thing is extremely interesting. By the way, shout out to Josh Heupel. In his recent media appearance, cleanly shaven, looking very good. So,
I had an email this week from a fan that he doesn't like Josh Heupel's game day attire, but that's the kind of thing that only comes up when you have a loss.
Yep.
If you're winning, nobody cares what you wear.
My son's a big golf devotee, okay? And my wife. You can bet on anything in sports now. You can bet on whether or not a guy's going to put a ball in a fairway off a tee. It's that minuscule. Matt, how prevalent is this stuff? This fixing, manipulation of things that we're seeing in sports. Not game fixing per se, but things that happen in sports that you can bet on. Shading it, if you will. How much do you think it goes on, Matt?
A ton. A lot more than anybody would want to admit.
College basketball.
Now you got to be a lot smarter about it now because you get caught easier with all the algorithms and everything kind of computerized. But no, I think it goes on a lot.
Anthony texted and said you can bet on if somebody hits the fairway or not in golf. It's crazy. Those guys could pump one into the rough and make their buddies $500 here or there during a tournament.
I guess you can bet on 2 putts and 3 putts and 1 putts.
How demented do you have to be sitting there betting on golf?
Not if you have a friend that plays.
You're making money.
And you have the answers to the test, yeah. The Class A guy, what tripped them up was the Class A guy he threw a pitch to this Pajes guy from the Dodgers, and Pajes swung at it. And Class A sent a text. They found his text chain. I was reading this in The Athletic last night. They found a text that he wrote to his buddy saying, I cannot believe he screwed it up for you. Somebody in a Philly fan page said, if Class A would have done that with Nick Castellano, it'd have kept him out of jail. Because Castellano would have swung at every pitch. He could have thrown the ball 25 feet outside, and that moron would have been swinging. Because he's a complete moron. Shout out Jack Fritz.
Do you think people can bet on your show? For example, if you could get odds...
Amount of dead air today.
Amount of dead air? Or what about...
Amount of mistakes, like amount of factual errors.
What? Yeah, well, what about if Tony's... What kind of odds could you get that Tony's guest breaking down the opponent would be a... Would be of Italian descent. What would be the odds on that? What kind of odds could you get?
Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in. You're on my TLD Logistics phone lines. Hi.
Hey Tony, it's Jack.
Hey Jack, welcome in, brother.
I called in yesterday and didn't get to, but I want to light on Boo Carter.
Yep.
I wouldn't let Boo Carter start on Florida's Suns Megatron's Pee Wee team.
John, what do you think of the year Boo Carter's turned in here after his rather tumultuous offseason? He's really backed it up. He's shown a lot of pride.
I thought he was going to be. He had the potential last spring. I thought of being a three-way player, and he's become a no-way player.
What were the three-way? Oh, I see what you're saying.
Returns,
offense, defense, yeah.
Offense, defense, special teams.
A guy had a great line after the Kentucky game when he said, "We're paying this guy to fair catch footballs and fumble some of them," which is really kind of. I guess in one of the Crip games though, he did return a ball for a touchdown. Is that right? He did have earlier in the year.
No, I don't think he returned it.
No. He had
a long punt return down to
one long
down to the 5-yard line.
Yes,
yeah.
but no. Since then, he got his highlight video.
Yeah,
he'll be transferring somewhere.
Matt, would you welcome Boo Carter back if you were this staff next year? Do you think that's going to happen, or do you think they're going to say boo to Boo? No,
he's gone. He's gone.
Would you play him at all?
They've regretted probably for most of the year that they let him come back, if I had to guess.
Well, the backstory is Miles Kitselman literally wanted to whip the guy's ass. So that's the backstory.
Didn't Joseph want to do the same thing?
Yeah.
I heard that somebody did. Was that
one of those guys hit him? Yeah, I don't know which one, but they really
Joseph did.
Yeah, I think that's right. But they really wanted. They were really angry that he was allowed back on. And when you gamble like that as a coach, you want that gamble to be worth it. And man, this was. Look, it's really easy to second guess these guys, Jack, but the Nico decision in December and that one there are two that Heupel just has to wear, man.
I wonder how much he's getting paid.
I hear $700,000 is what they paid him because they had to give him a great raise after the season that he had. Nobody knows. I mean, how do you know what any of these people are making? And that's your point, John. The boosters that throw that money into a pot and know how much money a guy's like. Let's say it's $350,000. It's pretty substantial, whatever it is.
Yeah, imagine who's paying
that
Boo
would
Carter.
Piss me off to know. And if I paid a guy that kind of money that disappeared for 6 weeks and then had this season,
you can only admire a fair catch so long.
Wow.
Do you feel like that's one reason? Or one of the reasons he was kept here because of the money that one of the boosters had put into him, that they kind of felt like they needed to give him another chance.
It's probably not a bad thought. That and the fact that he's a extremely, what would the word be for him? Like a physically gifted guy. Like last year at times he showed, hey, I possess great physical gifts, but there's just no accounting for a guy's lack of want to. And no offense to him, but he looks like a guy on the field that just doesn't want to play. I don't know what that's about.
He's not even trying to return punts now. He's just, I mean, if he catches them, he just runs straight out of bounds.
He would fit in well on that Florida team right now.
Hell yes.
Oh yeah. Another thing on the basketball.
Yep.
Seems like I kind of get locked in on the season when league play starts. When the SEC season starts, that's kind of when it starts ramping up for me. I know you had that question out yesterday, and that's what I was just wanting to talk about that a little bit. It seems like whenever that some of these tournament games through the holidays are pretty fun to watch, but when it starts SEC play, it really gets interesting, and I'm really looking forward to watching this team grow this year. I think we've got a special team.
I totally agree with that. I'll be on tomorrow night doing Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime, and these games, watching these guys grow is going to be really fun in these quad 4 games. People, and we had a call from Steve and Jasper the other day, and I get it. People are like, why are we playing these types of teams? You can't play tough games all the time. You should have more signature non-league games in your building. But that's not just a Tennessee-wide thing. That's a college basketball-wide thing. Tonight's tonight's Kentucky-Louisville game, guys, is being played where? Do we know?
At Louisville.
That's cool.
At the Yum Center.
That's cool. I'm for that. So it's nice. It would be nice to play in games like that. I'm not sure, guys, that our team is quite there yet to play in one of those games. I think this team needs about 5 ramp-up games. And, Matt, I'll ask you this, and you're an honest broker, Matt. When do you really start paying attention to hoops? When's it come on your radar?
Well, I mean, probably that Houston game. So I guess Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you got what, 6 or 7 games to kind of figure out who you are, and then it gets serious.
John,
so when I guess they play Rutgers first. So, but when they go out for that tournament, that's when it gets real.
What our caller is referencing, John, is I admitted yesterday on the air that even though I love college hoops, and I love it, college basketball season is a very special thing. Growing up in the Philadelphia area around the Big Five and all that, when it was real. Now they've, like a lot of things, it's just kind of a remnant. But for me, I've always been when college basketball is on during college football season, I've always felt like in this market, even when the Vols are great in hoops, that it's really not college football season until you play that last college basketball season until you play that last college football game. At least that regular season game particularly. Then in December, you really start to focus on it. January is when it becomes real. Now, yesterday, one of the callers said, or it might have been Dave, it would be great if this league would start playing some league games in December like the Big Ten does, I think you could do that rather than play the Crip games in an expanded league.
I don't know about
some
that.
leagues do. The ACC does that.
Yes,
I think
they do.
the Big 12
and the Big Ten does it.
That
the Big
because
10
they
does
have
it.
20 league games or something.
That's right. The Big
so they
Ten
have
does
to play
too.
some in December.
Yeah, I think it's better.
Yeah, there's so many SEC teams. Football is so big in the SEC. I don't know. I think people are still in a football frame of mind. Their teams going into the playoffs. I don't know how that would work. I think maybe select. You could play. I wouldn't have a full slate of games, but I think you could have select games, conference games. That would be okay.
Yeah. A feature game of the week, or like kind of work it into the deal. But my favorite thing, though, Jack, about the early season college basketball is these. I love the signature games like tonight. They're fun. And then seeing some of these games, like Michigan State had one the other night, like some of these signature basketball games I'm going to look at. North Carolina and Kansas played the other day. That's, that's the one thing about that sport is you can play those games and not get punished by them. And if you think about what Barnes has done, he's got Tennessee involved in that elite tournament. It used to be that we were glad to be in any tournament in the holidays. We were glad to be in the Bahamas. That one year we played in the National NIT and won that thing in the preseason. That was cool. That was a lot of fun up there in Madison Square Garden. I remember, John, when we used to have our own tournament here.
The Vol Classic?
The Vol Classic. You remember that? Yeah. Back to the phones we go. I'm not so sure that's not a bad idea, reinstating something like a Vol Classic. Why couldn't you do that?
Well, Tennessee is of all the there are a few SEC schools where basketball matters more. Of course, Kentucky, it matters in Arkansas. There, maybe more teams, more schools now than it used to be. But Tennessee's always had such a great basketball fan base. So you talk about an SEC game in Thompson Bowling in December, it packed the place.
We had a caller yesterday share with us that there were about 12 to 14,000 people for that Saturday game during a bye week, during a robust college football weekend. Do you know how many people 14,000 people is for a college basketball game? In the middle of January or in late February or in early March? That is a crowd in most campuses where they would be saying, damn, we had a huge crowd last night. We take that for granted here. We have so deserved as a fan base to make a Final Four. Laura and I were laughing the other day at how large our post-game audience was in the middle of a college football weekend. I'm like, who in the hell's going to listen to that? And the answer is several thousand people, John, after you played a Crip game when you beat somebody by 40. I mean, what is the point in that?
It's I remember the first time I ever covered. I was a columnist in Jackson, Mississippi. I covered a game here in Knoxville, in old Stokely Arena.
Yeah.
And I was amazed. I hadn't seen a crowd like that. The crowd was so into the game. It wasn't as big as it could get now, but it was packed. The atmosphere was tremendous. Other than Kentucky, there was no other place like it in the SEC at the time.
My first thought when I first walked into Thompson Boring Arena for the first game that I went to was exactly what you're saying. Like coming from where I came from, we used to go to Temple games at the old McGonigal Hall and, see these people that were just so into this thing.
Well, Tennessee is one of the best. Knoxville is one of the best college sports towns in America. You could maybe it's the best,
and you could always feel it in our basketball environment. Yeah, to your point.
But you think about it: basketball, baseball now,
it's crazy.
Women's basketball, football.
When Penske was here and they were drawing big crowds, and now Joe Kurt over there, they're blown away by the crowds they're drawing for soccer. They were playing before, there were people on the lawn early in the year when the weather was really nice. We love sports here. Love. Matt, That's the criminal thing, isn't it? That Florida's been to several Final Fours, won several national championships now in basketball, and we're still waiting for our first. Because we would literally melt the paint in here if we ever made a Final Four.
Yeah, it's disgusting, but they're like that in every sport. I mean, softball they're that way. I think they're pretty good in soccer. It really is. It's disgusting that fan base gets rewarded with so many championships.
What's even more disgusting is Auburn got rewarded with Tennessee's coach that should have taken them to their Final Four.
Twice. Right?
That's what's more disgusting to me.
Did Pearl make two?
He made his last one last year.
Sure.
Back to the phones we go. 865-200-5402 if you want to hunt and in the mix and in the hunt with us. We'd love to talk to you today. John Adams presented by our friends, the great Jennifer Morris, nextmovesmokymountains.com. Thank you to our caller, Jack in Wartburg. Great call on a kind of a cold Tuesday here in East Tennessee. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. Dave.
Hey, Dave. Welcome in, buddy.
Tell W. Lynn I was at that 85 Tennessee-Florida game, and where they stuck all the Tennessee fans in the lower section towards the end zone.
Yep.
They were throwing cups of urine down on Tennessee fans.
Way back in 85 they were doing that?
Yes, sir.
That's not a Spurrier thing, then.
So acting like white trash is a family tradition at Florida.
I didn't think that became popular until Florida got good in the 90s.
Hank Williams Jr. It's a family tradition.
So what are the odds that you would have 3 people on this show today that were all at the 1985 Tennessee-Florida game?
That's crazy.
Yep, and I'll tell you another thing. I was told, now I was a student over at UT then, I was told I had a Volkswagen Rabbit diesel back then. And I was told by other people that had been down there that you drive down there and you park on this, you better not have Tennessee, you better do something about your Tennessee tags, because they'll come out of the game and they'll key your car. You can do damage your car, all kinds of stuff. So, I better not admit this, but I think the statute of limitations is over now.
You're good.
I drove around campus to find me at somebody's car that had Florida tags that was going to Tennessee at the time, and I grabbed the tag off that car. And when we got down to Florida, I changed out my Tennessee tag with the Florida tag, my buddy and I did.
Wait, so might be the greatest story I've ever heard.
Dave, where did you get the tag? Where'd you get the
off
somebody's car?
I got it off somebody's.
Where? But where was it?
Where was it parked, Dave? Do you remember? Where was the parking spot? Just so that person's listening, maybe they'll know what happened to their license plate 45 years later.
It was behind Old Turney Row.
Matt Dixon.
You got the strip. You got the Old Turney Row right behind the strip. Up on the hill behind Oak Turney Road.
You weren't concerned that somebody might have caught you doing that?
No, obviously. Hey, Matt, a young Dave.
I was stupid back then.
Hey, Matt, a young Dave stealing somebody's license plate for a road trip to Florida. Do you have time for that, Matt Dixon?
I'm for it. I like that a lot.
A year later.
That's kind of endearing, Dave. I'm not gonna lie.
Dave.
A year later.
I mean, and here's the thing, Dave, if somebody is listening right now and they were that person, maybe they're a Vol fan now and they're, listening to us wherever they are in the world, do you feel sorry that you did that? Do you feel remorse?
Oh yeah. I mean, I feel bad about it.
Yeah.
At the time I was just stupid and was selfish and thinking about, I want to get my car messed up.
Dave, I've never seen anything like after the 1997 Florida game down there, a night game. The people there made a gauntlet. They had Tennessee fans walking between it. They were spitting on people. They were taunting people. They were slapping people in the back of the head. They were literally expectorating on people. They were cussing young kids. They were saying the C word to women. They were destroying cars as they drove off. They had a gauntlet of cars in the middle of what was Florida's Strip. And listen, growing up in that Philadelphia area and seeing some of the things I saw after sporting events, I thought I saw some crazy things. I've never in my life experienced anything like that 97 game.
Now I remember how I justified it.
All right.
The car I took it off of had Florida University of Florida sticker on their back window. In other words, they were probably going to graduate school there. They did their undergrad down in Gainesville, and that's how I justified it. I was getting at a Florida fan's car in Knoxville, and that's how I took tag off that car.
From the fan handbook, John, I think that's justifiable. If it had like a Florida Gator sticker on it, you wanted to take their license plate. It just means more, man. Excuse me, young man. Why are you stealing that license plate? What are you doing? You're committing larceny. You're committing a state crime here.
Oh, I know it.
I'm getting ready to go on a road trip. What do you think the police officer back then would have said? There's two things a cop could have said to you. I'm going to throw the book at you, or laughed along and said, I'll tell you what, kid, I'm going to turn my back. I'm going to walk over here, and you go ahead and finish your job. I think I'd be inclined to be in bucket number 2. I don't think I'd have thrown the book at a young nega, Dave. How about you, John?
Probably not.
I would have laughed at it.
I wouldn't have let him complete the act, though. I would have said, you can't do that, but it is funny.
I think it's
a true story. And my buddy, he said, yeah, we need to do that because, that way that we won't think that's a Tennessee car. So we did that, and as soon as we got down, we drove off campus. So we stopped at the mall in Gainesville, and he bought himself. I remember he bought himself a brand new pair of tennis shoes from the store in the mall. I put the tags on in the parking lot, so we were outside of campus then. So I drove into campus with those Florida tags, parked, came out, car was fine. Drove, got to about where we're going to get gas and get on the interstate. Changed the tag back, my Tennessee tags in, and we headed back to Knoxville.
Now, Dave,
you had a Tennessee license plate, right? I bent the tag and I threw them away.
Might be the greatest thing ever that I've ever heard of.
Dave,
somebody told me, somebody said, hey, listen, it's bad down there. They'll do this and do that to your car. And then let me tell you something. We got urine thrown on us.
Jeez.
I kid you not. I'm just not making that up.
Dave, you risked, according to the Tennessee Code, Class A misdemeanor. The great Jeff Day listening to us. You risked up to 11 months and 29 days in jail and a fine of up to $2,500 with your action.
Well, I did it.
You could have spent a year in jail for a 17-10 loss.
I had an accomplice. But I'm not going to mention his name.
You had a topless.
Accomplice.
I had somebody with me.
I was going to say, wow.
Dave, at any point after that, did you think, golly, why did I do that? I could have gone to prison for that. Did you ever think that or not?
Prison Mike.
Gosh, John, probably never really thought, I'll never forget doing it, but I probably didn't really think
Dave,
about
some of your friends over here on our YouTube channel are wondering if you ever went back to Florida after that.
The only other time I've been in the swamp is I went down there for the 94 Gator Bowl because they were redoing the Gator Bowl and they held the Gator Bowl at the swamp that year.
We played Northwestern.
Managed freshman year.
We played Northwestern, right?
No.
We played Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech.
Thank you very little. I watched that game with Ray Mears.
I think Peyton Manning had maybe a 15-yard run in that game.
Right off the Ray Mears room. Do you remember the Ray Mears orange room? How next level he was?
Uh-huh.
Wasn't he great?
Yes.
Total character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was really Peyton Manning's coming out because they had practice, a month before the game, or about a month.
Yep.
And then that game, he was throwing it all over the yard.
I'd say that Peyton Manning kid's going to have a future.
Dave, it's a good thing. Hopefully, you weren't speeding on the way down there, because if you had the wrong license plate on.
No, he waited till he got there, Bryce.
Oh, okay.
He was a smart criminal.
I'm like,
he
went up here.
Well, no. He said he waited till he got down there, and then his buddy went over and ran interference and got himself arrested in a parking lot like a Kmart, and that's when Dave put the right tag on.
No, that's not what happened.
Oh. I saw that on All Control Live.
He went to the mall in Gainesville. He went in and got new tennis shoes, and then I changed them out in the parking lot at the mall down in Gainesville.
He distracted
and
the
then
rent-a-cop.
Do what now?
You distracted the rent-a-cop in the parking lot with your friend who was going to commit shoplifting.
Well, see,
I mean, that's just stupid. That's just stupid crap you do. I mean, that's just something stupid.
I don't think that's stupid at all.
Well, I think a lot of fans can relate to that, but I was a columnist for 2 years in Jacksonville, so I covered, I don't know, I'd cover Florida State, Miami games, and I really didn't remember Florida having that bad of a reputation at the time. I thought of that in the mid to late 90s. That's when I first heard all these horror stories from fans.
They're horrible people. Hey, Dave, what was your buddy's name that did it? First and last name?
I'm not doing that to him.
All right, first name.
No. Not going to do it.
His nickname wasn't like Skeeter or something, was it? That sounds like something Skeeter. Skeeter?
What was his name, Jeff?
Jeff.
No.
John.
No, he's still, and we're still.
Let's do Wordle.
We've been buddies since middle school.
Hey, can you give us like a Wordle and blot out some of the letters, and then we try to guess that guy's name?
You guys are crazy.
Negative.
Hey, listen. What I really wanted to call about.
30 minutes later.
W. Lynn had mentioned that game down there, and I was there, and that did happen.
Podcast.
So I really didn't feel bad about the tags because we got urine thrown on us. So anyhow,
I think
really
that's right. Yeah.
Do what now?
I agree with you.
Wait a minute.
Through the lens of time, you stealing that license plate feels justified after you got peed on.
But Dave, but
you should have gone back to that car and damaged it.
He got peed on after
stealing the license plate.
So you could say it was punishment.
No, Friday's punishment night. Saturday, anything goes.
But what about all the people that were sitting around me that got
what about them?
Thrown on them?
What about them?
They were innocent bystanders.
They were innocent bystanders.
Dave, I'll tell you this. I've never seen people behave the way those Florida people did. And then in 99, I went for a run before the game. That was another night game. And that's when I saw outside the stadium. I've told this story on the air before, but there's a Tennessee fan. Maybe you're listening to me right now. Walking with a little girl who's, let's see, that girl's got to be in her 30s now. She was a young kid. This Florida fan come up behind this guy. We're right out front of the stadium. And I'm doing like a little leisurely kind of stroll deal, and I'm watching this transpire behind me. And we're all just kind of walking, because I didn't run. I was out there for a walk. But I'll take a good 2 or 3 mile walk, whatever. This guy, Florida fan, starts chirping, young kid, chirping at this guy about the game that night. And the guy says, hey, that's cool. It's all well and good. Please don't use that language in front of my daughter. He said, you see that to the daughter? He said, your dad's nothing but an effing piece of you-know-what. And this guy...
Yeah, they're just...
Listen to me now, Dave. This guy stops, pauses. Whatever he had in his pocket, he put in his pocket. He warned this guy 3 or 4 times to quit doing it, and the guy kept doing it right in his ear. Finally got like right up on his ear and said to the daughter, you see, your dad's an effing P-word. In front of like a 7-year-old daughter. The guy turns around and hits this guy so hard and hovers over him. And I'm looking at the guy going, don't get up. You better act injured. And we just walked away from him. John, nailed this. You know what? Sometimes getting punched in the face is justified. That's one of those times. Sometimes getting your license plate stolen is justified.
Yeah.
Right, Dave?
Well, what happened was, at halftime of the four down there in game at Ben Hill Griffith Stadium, they could leave at halftime and go across the street to the Porpoise.
Purple Porpoise.
Purple Porpoise.
And get
tanked up.
Purple
Porpoise. And they could get all liquored up and bring. So we at first saw it coming down on us, and I was going, "What in the world is that?" And the guy goes, "Oh, they let them go. They let the students. They let anybody go across the street and get all liquored up at halftime, and then they're just throwing beer on us." And then they kept doing it, and I'm like, "Wait a minute, that's not beer." And it wasn't beer.
John, would you agree? And I appreciate you, Dave. That's disgusting at lunchtime, him continuing to talk about that, because several people are eating lunch while they're...
Well, yeah, and it was also disgusting when you were talking about laxatives at lunchtime.
Well, it's ironic that we said that one of Dave's sponsors, who now has his own Negadave code, and WeShipFloors.com, Alan, that's incredible. But Matt, we called the guy a human hemorrhoid, and he had an incredibly great phone call today. See that, Matt? Just never know, do you?
No, but we got him committing crimes, so which is always good.
And by the way, would you guys agree with me, like somebody says here, that it would be, in a twisted way, getting punched is something that doesn't happen nearly enough anymore to certain people? Because there was one time in our society where when you behave like that, you were one. John, you agree with that?
Well, I don't want to condone violence, but what the story
it's the truth
that you tell.
It's the truth. I've told the story several times on here. It's never deviated.
With somebody talking like that in front of your child,
he would not stop.
Horrible.
He would not, and he was inebriated early in the morning, like some of these kids get. And he looked like he was probably 20, 21, something like that.
So this guy hit him really hard.
John, this guy nailed him. He almost fell into me. I was walking by. You know, you walk behind something and you're watching it.
Did the police respond or come over there?
No, we all walked away. I didn't even know what happened to the guy. I didn't care at that point. I was so thinking to myself, this guy deserved what just happened to him.
Yeah, if you had been questioned as a witness, I think you would have said...
I didn't say anything.
No, you would have said, well, I saw the young man fall, and the Tennessee fan reached out to try and catch him.
Yes.
And he wasn't able to, and he hit the ground.
Like on MASH when Hawkeye hit Frank Burns, and they said he slipped on a bar of soap. It was a great episode.
Or when Shy Tuttles fell in the locker room and hit his eye on his helmet.
Yes. Well, Justin Anderson says we can call that guy Fight Club Clay Sr., whoever that guy is. Because Fight Club Clay, see, that's the thing about these days. Everything you do is caught on video. So Dave, they would have seen Dave today. Kids can't go steal a license plate because today a ring door camera would have caught that.
Sure.
Yeah. No fun anymore. Like when I was a kid, we used to go Longwood Gardens, look it up. It's near my house. Botanical garden, world-class botanical garden near my house. We'd go over there at night when it closed and go take our socks and fill our socks up with quarters, nickels, dimes, and pennies. It was like a summer job when I was a kid. We'd go clean their fountains for them. Got caught one night by a guy whose his father was worked there, was like a career guy there, was living in housing provided by them. And the guy that caught us was a guard who knew this kid's father and said, I'm telling your father on you. Never told his dad. Never told him. Because we were just kids, man, just being kids.
We had a kind of 8 miles from my home in a small Louisiana town. We had a golf course out in the middle. And 2 friends of mine that lived out there in the area, just both of them a few miles, they used to at night, we go in the pond. No telling how many snakes could have been in that pond, and they would go in there for golf balls.
Oh, yeah. And sell them, right? Sell them to people or just keep them?
Just keep them. They both play golf.
hacking around. 865-200-5402. But I'll tell you this, man. NECA Dave over here on YouTube says, poor Dave's been living under a P cloud ever since it happened to him. You think that explains it, Matt? A P cloud? I've never heard of a P cloud. But
well, he's actually, Dave is kind of like the old fugitive TV series, and there was a movie by the same name. He has got to have been worrying all this time. Did somebody witness that, and could they come after me?
Does he have that dream that we all have?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have that dream. Back to the phones we go. Hello and welcome in.
Hey, what's up, guys? Joshy boy.
Wings!
I wonder if Nega Dave's friend, I wonder if his name was Bino.
You think that's possible? Bino could have been. That sounds like something Bino would be involved with.
Yeah.
Joshy boy.
Could be.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love Dave.
Yeah. I love Dave, too.
Yep.
So, guys, can we all agree I would rather lose to Florida at Florida next week than lose to Vandy at home in 2 weeks, because I do not want to see Vandy celebrating on our field and them going to the playoffs. Thoughts?
I've come to the conclusion that Tennessee shouldn't lose either one of those games, so I'm not bargaining on that deal.
I agree with Josh. I think it would be better to lose to Florida than it would to Vanderbilt. And also, if you beat Vanderbilt, forget the name or the lopsided rivalry, you would be beating a playoff-bound team. That would be the big win that this team lacks. So,
here's a crazy thing, though, because this might happen. You beat Florida, you feel really good about yourself, and then you come back here and Vanderbilt gets you. You know how many people are going to remember that Florida win?
Nobody.
Not too many, Tony.
You're going to finish 8-4, and they're going to be on you like they've never been on you.
That would be like the LSU loss when they beat Florida that one time and then had to play LSU in the championship game the next week, and the Florida game was pretty much forgotten about.
They're going to be on you like they've never been on you, man.
And that was a great Florida team they beat. This is not a great Florida team at all.
John, we've been here a long time. The heat on Heupel and Danny White. Danny White's fictitious 24,000-seat waiting list is going to get quite a workout if they lose that Vanderbilt game.
Yeah, there will be a huge uproar and a knee-jerk reaction to it. But
oh, yeah.
So does Josh Heupel go on the hot seat then?
I think unless he finishes 9-3, that's going to be a conversation.
Yeah, into next season.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I hate that too, by the way, because I don't think it's fair. Too. I don't think it's fair for him.
I don't know if 8-4 with his track record. I think there will be immediate hostile reaction to it from the fan base because it had high hopes for the season. But I don't think that will sustain itself all the way into the next season. I think if he would go, even if he would go 7-5, I think next season then would be a crucial year in terms of.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's when the transfer portal would become more paramount, and you would be motivated to really bolster your roster.
Hey, Tony, how good do you think Justin Hunter could have been at Tennessee if he never sustained that season-ending injury at Florida? I think that was his second season.
That's a very random question, Matt. What do
you
think
was that random?
Yeah. Justin Hunter would be a great receiver in this offense.
No, I was just thinking about it the other night.
Yeah,
just wondering your all's thoughts.
Matt, what do you remember about Justin Hunter besides that he was a splendid, elegant wide receiver?
Yeah, just uber athletic. I think was kind of like a borderline Olympian, like long jumper or some triple jump or something, but just really long and athletic, could really high point balls, was just a mismatch. And still wound up being like a second round pick and played a few years in the NFL.
That's exactly right.
But that certainly, he was very physically gifted. And that injury certainly that really derailed that season big time. You had Derek Rogers and Hunter, and they only really got to play like 2 or 3 games together. That year.
Isn't he like a wide receiver coach at Memphis now?
Oh, that's cool. I'm glad to hear that.
He's
Brian.
gotten into
really
coaching,
cool.
I think.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that.
And speaking of Derek Rogers, I don't know if y'all heard this before, but it's a true story. Like, he wasn't the sharpest tool in the room, and the coaches basically had to explain him every one of the plays in practice. And when he did something really good, they gave him like some sort of candy. That was kind of like his reward.
Literally might be the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life.
So,
thank you, Joshy boy. Great call.
Well, I wanted to do a follow-up.
By which all others will be judged.
Well, I mean, we have...
What was the follow-up? Should I call him? Let's call Joshy boy.
Yeah.
All right, let me call him. What's the follow-up going to be?
So I need I would like to know who is... He doesn't have to give his source, but how sure is he of that story?
And can he name the accomplice of Negative? Those are 2.
Well, what he can do, can he guess the name of Negative's
hang on here.
accomplice?
Joshy boy, sorry, man. Sorry about cutting you off. That's Brian Hartman's got an itchy trigger finger. I blame Brian for that. Hang on a second, buddy.
That's such a lie.
Well, he just hung up on me. What is he hanging up on me for?
Because you felt you hung up on him, probably.
Hang on a second here.
It's like...
Joshy boy. Yeah. Sorry for... Let me turn my volume up here. Sorry for hanging up on you, man. You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, we're still on the air. Brian's got an itchy trigger finger. We didn't mean to cut you off there. Hey, John's got a question for you. Go ahead, John. What were you saying?
Joshy boy, how good is your source on that story about giving to Rick Rogers a piece of candy for when he got a play right?
Treats. For treats.
Yeah, it's like a pet dog.
Yeah, the great Artemis was telling me this a few months ago.
Matt, Artemis is a source. Where are you going on that, Matt? Artie said it.
Artemis knows his stuff, too.
Oh, I have no reason not to believe it. It could certainly be true. Just about anything could be true from the Derek Dooley era over there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Joshy boy.
No problem.
I'm really concerned about my cell phone now. It was not performing well. Laura was right. This phone is degrading before my very eyes. Look at the screen, John. My last day of physical therapy. Mary Michael Jordan's about to release me. I'm wearing my Penn hoodie that has a pocket in the front. And she says, hey, flip your hoodie off. I just want to see your range of motion with your neck, and I want to test it and all this and that. And as I went to take my hoodie off, it fell right on the concrete and cracked.
It looks as though it has veins.
Wide open. I mean, it is totally splintered now. And Mary Michael Jordan looks at me and she goes, God, that's a tough break. Your last day of physical therapy, you broke your phone.
Did she laugh when she said that?
I mean, God.
So I thought about that 2011 Tennessee-Kentucky game in Lexington while I was watching the Kentucky-Florida game and marveling at how much little Florida players cared about the game.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of Tennessee's efforts. Not as bad, didn't get beat as bad, was still in the game, but when Kentucky was playing a converted wide receiver at quarterback and won the game.
I guarantee you that's one of the craziest things that Dandy Randy Sanders has ever been involved with. Wasn't the story, guys, that they installed that offense like on a Thursday or something, and they threw some kid out there that hadn't played quarterback since middle school, and they ran like 6 plays, right?
Matt Rorick from Louisville.
How do you remember that? And they ran like 6 plays.
How can you forget that?
He had a...
Yeah, they...
what a great line.
Dave Hart was like, should have fired Dooley right out on the bus on the way home.
Yep, and taking a sandwich, Roger. Davey Boy Shart. Let's get our next call in on your TLD.
But he didn't want to deal with the coaching search, haven't been here, but just for a few months.
On your on your TLD Logistics Overdrive. Oh, but, hi, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Hey, Tony, it's Orange Blood.
Hey, welcome in, my brother.
Hey, that's the most cheerful I've ever heard Dave.
He's he was, and I think Dave won over a lot of fans with that call.
Yeah, it was quite refreshing.
I think a lot of Tennessee fans would have liked to have done the same thing.
Yeah, it's probably don't recommend it, but probably wise to blend in with your surroundings in enemy territory. I know we got a few minutes here, but just I wanted to divert a little bit. Talking about hot seats for coaches and a lot of big programs with coaches. Looking for coaches right now. Can you guys remind me how is the portal thing working this year? It opens again in January, but it's only open for like 2 weeks, or is it like you have to commit to the portal within 2 weeks and then it stays open longer? And how does that butt up against all these coaching searches when a lot of teams their season's going to be over in about 2 or 3 weeks, but you still got some a lot of big teams going through the playoffs that they're going to be hitting the portal stuff too, and they're going to be behind the 8 ball, I can imagine. So how are you going to hire a coach and then jump right into your portal players?
Well, the portal players on playoff teams will have people can enter the transfer portal later if you're playing in a playoff game. So you've got more leeway there, but it is still troubling. Maybe it's not as bad as December. But the way all this stuff is going on, because even in December, teams have to be thinking about their roster for 2026, even playoff teams, because you've got to be pinpointing players that you want to acquire, and you've got to be thinking about players that you might lose to the portal.
And what do you do when you have surprises like Tennessee had with that safety last year that jump into the portal?
Yeah.
I mean, for 2 weeks, it's going to be like a shopping spree.
It's going to be ridiculously crazy because some teams, they just got an AD, and now they got to go get a coach.
That's right.
And the coach has got to say, okay, who am I going to? What do we have? What do you got? Where's your short list? Everybody has a list, right, Tony?
That's right. That's right.
Florida. We're going to go talk, probably whisper in some Florida receivers' ears here in a couple weeks, maybe.
Absolutely.
So, you got to hit the ground. You got to have your plan ready to go. You can't sit there like on December 12th or whatever and say, "Okay, let's go."
When you say that, it makes me wonder because I believe that very much in having a general manager, strong general manager,
sure.
And because personnel now is so paramount, I would wonder if you'd be better off if the general manager should work for the athletic director. That should be his boss, not the football coach.
But how's that going to work when the football coach has to sign off on who's on his roster? I mean, that's part of the deal. The football coach.
Well, they have a discussion, but what he's bringing up is if you're a coach right now in the play, and you've got a playoff team, or if you're Ohio State or Indiana or Texas Tech, one of these teams that looks like a national championship contender, you got to be focused on that. But you need a GM who's not even thinking about the playoff. He's thinking about the next team.
It's the execution of this thing. Another thing I was talking about today with a friend of mine in the industry who does not believe that this court case thing they've come up with, this house case, it's going to be completely blown out of the water in a month. Watch and see what I'm saying. Yeah. They're going to challenge that. They're going to pay these guys. They're not going to justify their worth and all that crap that they want us to believe. And I was told today, you watch and see. You want to see something go off the rails? They think they've got guardrails on this thing. You watch and see something go off the rails the way it's going to.
And once that happens, what's the next move?
This whole thing about we only going to have one transfer portal, that's a bunch of BS too.
Well, it won't hold up.
You can
either.
challenge that either. You can,
sure.
Because somebody asked me earlier in one of these chats, why don't we know, if that's a state school over there, how much Boo Carter, for instance, is making. Everybody else's salary is public knowledge. Here's why. They're not recognized as employees. That's the whole crux of this. Until I recognize you as an employee, I can't bargain with you. I can't put guardrails on what we're doing. Until I'm willing to really share the money with the players, Danny. And Danny White, I give him credit, knows that this is a system that's untenable, that they've got these ADs and these presidents and all these people. It's a complete masquerade. Why don't we just do this? What'll be better for the fans for the long run, better for the players, better for the sport. Personally, as a talk show host, and John as a columnist, I love anarchy. It has been the funnest, most interesting, most compelling thing to cover. It can't be good for your sport long term. It can't be. But to your point, it's going to be total anarchy in January.
Yeah, in December, don't we still have like a signing day in December?
Yes, it's the most idiotic thing in the world. Totally idiotic.
So just to add on top, the cherry on top to the whole mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that's all I got, Tony. I might catch you this weekend at the game. I'm taking my cousin. His son's never been to a Tennessee game,
I'd love to hug you, man. W8, W8. Come see us. Yep, White 8, W8. As we have our Machi tailgate. And shout out to those folks because they do a tremendous, tremendous job. We'll go back to our phones here momentarily. The anarchy that we're going to see, though, in January, here's the other thing. People talk about Lane Kiffin or this coach or that coach. People are going to want to get involved with these teams that are in the playoffs. This young guy at Memphis might make a playoff. Who's the group of 5 playoff entrant now, Matt? With them getting beat the other day, do we even know?
Probably South Florida would be the favorite.
Wow, but they're going to have to win a conference championship.
There's even
right?
it's highly unlikely, but there's even a scenario where the American winner and then James Madison, if they finish with 1 loss, could actually be higher than the ACC champion, and the ACC could actually get left out of the playoffs. I think it would be Duke because I think Duke has lost all 3 of their non-conference games this year, which is crazy. But they only have 1 league loss.
But isn't the ACC guaranteed a spot as a league champion?
It's the 5 highest ranked conference champions. Doesn't have to be the Power 4, but it like the Big 12 was ranked below Boise last year.
That's so crazy.
I really think what eventually the model has to be. You just have to go to the group of 5.
It's dumb.
The group of 5 team getting in is going to be. There will be instances. There will be years when maybe that team is a superpower, and it can compete. But
why not let them play their own playoff? The sport would support that. You could You could play games with each other during the year, and then we watch, and then we put more value on that level of football. If you give them their own championship, we would value it more. Everybody would value it more.
Does the group of 5? The group of 5 team shouldn't have to win its conference. For example, take South Florida.
Yeah. That
played Florida, Miami, and Boise, all outside its conference. I mean, it's played a far tougher schedule than any of those teams in that league have.
It's played a schedule comparable to ours, really.
Huh.
I mean, it's crazy what they've played. They played at Memphis, got beat down there. The whole thing, the whole group of 5 deal, Matt, that's a very interesting angle you just brought up. That the ACC might track. The ACC kind of deserves that, by the way. And who would have thought that Bill Belichick is having a resurgence right now?
Think about the ACC and hoops and football at the same time. Probably have never been as bad as they are, and they've expanded to have all these teams in the league.
And John, I wonder why. I wonder what league is taking all their athletes. John, any thoughts on why that's happening?
The rise of SEC basketball and the descent of ACC basketball is pretty stunning when you think about it.
And one other thing that's going to happen, and I believe sooner than later, the more these teams pay these buyouts to these coaches, the more likely we're going to see, make no mistake about it, but we're going to see the rise of big money getting involved in these sports. What do they call that stuff? Why is that?
Equity.
Thank you. Private equity firms are going to buy their way. Good, they're going to own these. If you can laugh at this, if these SEC teams aren't careful and don't get their houses in order, private equity firms are going to end up owning some of these athletic departments before it's over. I'm really kind of not kidding. They can spend themselves into oblivion. Think about the amount of money you have spent chasing a championship. How many $70 million payments do you have to make going out the door? How many $4 million athletic directors, $10 million football coaches, $2.5 million coordinators, $45 million payroll, $4 million women's basketball payroll? How much of that can you do until BlackRock comes in and buys your athletic department because you've spent yourself into the ground? We've already seen it on the federal level. They will spend and spend and spend, and nobody thinks about tomorrow. Nobody cares. I remember asking Mike Slive, so what about, like, he was like the future. Those guys, John, do they care about the future in this deal at all? Does anybody? Do you laugh at my private equity thing, or do you think it's possible?
Well, I think it's anything is up for grabs now because, as you said, the guardrails are very flimsy. You can look at, and then we've talked about it before, but the Saudis could buy a college football program, basically.
That's the point.
They could do that.
Yeah.
And they have the money.
And who wouldn't sell their program to the Saudis? People talk about Saudi oil money all they want. If you won a national championship, we would be wearing damn turbans around. That's the truth. It's probably not that far. But my friends at you can bet that I'm always going to stick my foot in my mouth. And you can also bet at VIP Play, ladies and gentlemen, where you bet $20 and you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony, never Negadave, but TN Tony. Negadave for another sponsor. My friends at VIP Play want to remind you they're live always, 200-plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. I'm cooking a little something tonight. John, what do we have our eyes on tonight out of the MAC?
Sorry about that. Akron and Kent State. I think it should be a heck of a game.
Yes.
Attended by hundreds of people. The stadium won't be packed, but it will be very active, and there will be a lot of tight camera shots.
An opportunity for you to bet on that. An opportunity for you to get involved with some of the NHL, NBA action this evening. Some of the women's basketball, the Kentucky-Louisville game, where we just found out that Louisville is an underdog in their building. There's different types of bets you can make, like props and options and all kinds of stuff. VIP Play is where everyone gets treated like a VIP. And if you have a gambling problem, 800-889-9789, 21 and over, and located in the great state of Tennessee to place a bet. Gentlemen, we're into our fourth hour, which means it's quitting time for us. All lines are jammed, John. Look at that. You want to take a few calls, or you want to go? What do you want to do?
I want to leave.
Yeah, me too. Because I'm on Plaster Show here in 2 hours, and we're doing post-game tomorrow, and I got to save myself for the prom. Matt, any final thoughts, you or John?
I'm giving Kent State 5.5 points and taking Akron. I will advise others to do the same.
By the way, it was alleged that North Carolina's GM, who is, help me out here, somebody, the Paisan from the NFL Network, anyway, went to Saudi Arabia to seek money back in the summer, allegedly. So Louisville's 6.5-point favorite tonight. Negadave's telling me. Is that right, Bri? I thought they were catching points in their building. That can't be right, is it, Bri? It doesn't sound right. No way Louisville's a 6.5-point favorite. Anybody?
Where did you hear that?
Negative. Bri, is Negative telling the truth? And Lombardi is that guy's name, that Paisan. That's right, from the NFL Network. Matt, any final thoughts for us here on the way out? My brother. What happened to my boys here? How come I got them muted. Go ahead, Brian. I'm sorry.
We've been talking for like 2 minutes answering your questions.
Damn me.
Ignored. I figured that was the case. Brian's been answering all your questions, and you just totally ignored him.
I'm off my game.
Plus 6.5. Kentucky's an underdog tonight.
Damn it. Negative, I'm sorry, man.
KenPom has it 84-83 in favor of Louisville, so it's basically a toss-up. So it's weird that it's a 5-point difference in the betting line versus KenPom.
Boy, Louisville got good fast.
Paulie Joe's got Mark Pope plus 6.5.
What's the Paulie Joe? Explain the joke to me about Paulie Joe and Mark Pope. What are we doing here, Bri?
Paulie Joe called and came to an impassioned defense of Mark Pope before they got spanked by Bruins in the tournament once, and really was Mark Pope acted like Mark Pope's cut man during one of his calls. I always thought it was funny.
And VFL 2019 has the final word, and he says, Tony, you're all messed up today. Word to my dearly departed mama. I'm pretty screwed up today. But it was still, John, kind of an interesting program, right? It's fun.
Yeah, the license tag was added to a strong finish by Dave, committing
Thank
crimes.
you, Dave.
And then that reminded me of the man who, what was the man's name? Harvey something.
Harvey Updike.
Harvey Updike destroyed the trees at Toomer's Corner there in Auburn, and then went on the Paul Feinbaum show and talked about it.
Yes. Pretty next level.
But he did go to prison. Dave's a free man, and happy for
Harvey
him.
Updike served jail time for that?
Yes.
For destroying a tree.
Yeah.
Plant a tree. Is that really true? For your tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes.
He could have poisoned the some of the ecosystem, and it could have got in the streams and stuff. So that was a potential
they're in the middle of campus. Someone's gonna do streams.
We used to say
he did. It was like a federal. Like he went to federal prison for that.
What?
Yes.
We used to say that Harvey Updike was the procurer of Philip Fulmer's coaching tree. Back in the days, but, that's kind of you just insert your joke, however you want to. Precursor of your...
Don't tell Mike Griffith that.
How would Mike Griffith respond to that, Bri?
Hey, man, Chavis is still coaching in the XFL, man. So all these years later, he can walk on water and turn into wine, man. Couldn't adjust. Dante's fumble cost him the game, but Chavis couldn't adjust, man.
Till we meet again, for all those behind the scenes. I mean, I'm sorry, but that amuses me. I hope it amuses you like it amuses me. John, thank you.
Thanks to Brian for the impersonation.
105.7.
Love, peace.
AM 1340, WKGN Knoxville, and W289CU Knoxville. Fan Run Radio.
My level of fired upness, focusedness, and preparedness, as far as I'm concerned, is without peer. I will be and I will stay fired up, focused, and prepared. I will be pumped. I will be excited. I am stacked, jacked, and packed today. We are ready for you. The great John Adams is in the house today, as he will stay throughout. Matt Dixon's dauber is up today.